It was a still night in the Hidden Leaf Village. The townsfolk were returning home and locking up their shops for the day. Suddenly, a wave of dread swept through the air as a monstrous figure emerged in the distance. The nine-tailed beast was unleashing destruction and barreling toward the village gates. Panic broke out as civilians fled in terror, heading in the opposite direction. At the same time, elite ninja ranks, Chunin, Jonin, and ANBU, raced toward the danger to intercept the beast, while lower-ranked genin focused on civilian evacuation. A masked ANBU agent dropped to one knee in front of the former Hokage, now leading the defense. Sandame-sama, the beast has reached the village outskirts, awaiting your command. Hiruzen Sarutobi stood silently, his thoughts troubled. Where was the current Hokage in such a moment of crisis? We must hold the line and buy time until the fourth arrives. Understood, the ANBU affirmed before vanishing to relay orders. At the front, the nine-tailed fox was furious. No, enraged beyond comprehension. First, it was manipulated by Uchiha Madara, then sealed by the first Hokage, and now once again bound by another accursed Sharingan. It had no desire to attack the leaf, on the contrary, it wanted to escape this land forever. But fate had other plans. Controlled against its will, the beast vowed to exact brutal revenge once it broke free. Namikaze compound Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage, known as the Yellow Flash and the only shinobi with an SS-class bounty, was torn. There was only one viable option left, sealing the creature. The dilemma was who would bear such a burden. He couldn't ask any comrade to condemn their child to such a fate. His newborn son, Naruto, had just come into the world, and tragically, his wife had died in the process. Could he really inflict this destiny on his son, leaving him alone in the world? Yes, as Hokage, he had to place the village above all. With a heavy heart, he lifted Naruto from the crib and vanished in a flash of golden light. Battlefront Sarutobi watched helplessly as every technique they hurled at the beast only made it more violent. If the barrier fell, the destruction would be absolute. Suddenly, a massive figure descended from the sky, slamming into the Ninetales and pinning it. A colossal red toad wearing a navy vest and armed with a blade stood tall, with Minato atop its head. "We're saved," a shinobi cried out. "The fourth is here," another shouted. Sarutobi breathed out in relief. With Minato on the scene, they had a real chance. In the blink of an eye, the Hokage, his toad summon, and the beast vanished in a golden flash. Edge of the village now far from the chaos, the fourth Hokage, the great toad Gamabunta, and the Ninetales faced off. "Hold him steady while I prepare the seal," Minato instructed. "I'll do my best, but remember, this is no ordinary enemy," Gamabunta growled. Minato nodded solemnly and began a long chain of hand signs. "Reaper Death Seal," he cried. The spirit of the Reaper appeared, reaching into the Ninetales and yanking out its yin chakra. The fox roared, shrinking in size. Seizing the opportunity, Minato finalized the ritual. 8 trigrams seal," he shouted, binding the remaining yang chakra into Naruto. Tears streamed down his cheeks as he looked at his child. "Forgive me, Naruto, I wish I could protect you. I hope the village honors you as the hero you are." With those final words, Minato's soul was taken by the Reaper. Sarutobi arrived moments later, witnessing a fallen hero, a crying infant, and devastation everywhere. He instantly understood what had occurred. The glowing seal on the baby's stomach said it all. Council chamber. 2 hours later, Hiruzen Sarutobi entered the council chambers to receive a damage assessment. Once all were assembled, he spoke. "Let's begin. What is the village's current condition?" The head of commerce replied grimly, "The attack devastated the financial sector. Our revenues down 40%. Sarutobi nodded. "And the casualties?" Merkamina, head of the medical corps, responded. "We've lost 60,000 lives, nearly half the population. Of those, 18,000 were shinobi." He nodded once more, grief in his expression. "Now, as for the beast's defeat." Everyone leaned in. "The Ninetales cannot be killed, as it's a living mass of chakra. The fourth did what he had to. He sealed the creature inside someone of Uzumaki heritage. The only available candidate was Kushina's newborn son." Sarutobi waited to gauge their reactions. He hadn't revealed the boy's parentage yet. If they reacted violently, he would keep it secret. Outrage erupted from the civilian side of the council. "Execute the demon. It will seek vengeance. We must kill it." Their shouts echoed for minutes, until Sarutobi unleashed a wave of killing intent that silenced them all. He regretted revealing the boy's status. Now, all he could do was hope Naruto would survive the fallout, especially under the watchful, calculating eyes of Danzo and Uchiha Fugaku. Regarding leadership, he continued, I'll resume my post as Hokage to guide us through this crisis. Danzo interrupted, I am equally capable and should be considered. You may be capable, but the village needs a familiar face to stabilize it. The people trust me, Sarutobi countered. Reluctantly the council agreed. Danzo narrowed his eyes. You've won this time, old man, but eventually I will control the Nine Tails. Fugaku stood. Who will care for the boy? As of now, Naruto is just one of many orphans, Hiruzen answered. Then I propose he be adopted by the Uchiha, Fugaku said. Danzo stepped in. Better yet, allow Root to train him as a weapon. No, he's not to be molded into a tool, nor shall one clan control him, Sarutobi said firmly. Danzo glared. Then what's your plan? He'll be raised in the orphanage and moved to his own home when old enough. Danzo fumed but said nothing. Shikaku Nara asked, what about the civilians? They'll demand his execution. Sarutobi paused, then declared, Naruto's status is now an SS-class secret. Anyone who reveals it will be executed without trial. With that, the council adjourned, and Hiruzen prayed he'd made the right decisions. Inside the seal, the Ninetales observed the meeting from within the boy's mind, intrigued. It realized the child would live for now. But humans were always predictable. The civilians would undoubtedly try to kill the boy. I'll have to keep him alive, for now my own survival depends on it. But once he's old enough, I'll train him. And when the time comes, they'll all see the real monster, raised by the very son of their cherished Hokage. Ha ha ha, 6 years later Naruto trudged down the road, his head bowed and his heart heavy. Earlier that day, he'd been thrown out of the orphanage. The matron had declared, monsters like you don't belong here anymore. He couldn't understand it. Why did she keep calling him a monster? He was just a boy, no different from the other kids, or so he believed. She had always denied him basic things, like teaching him how to read or write, saying things like, creatures like you don't need to learn. Often, she barely fed him, and many nights he went to bed with an empty stomach. Then there were the days he wandered the streets, only to be chased and beaten by angry villagers. Trying to forget the misery, Naruto instead thought about the few moments of kindness he'd experienced. He remembered the kind elderly man who treated him to ramen on his birthdays, and the friendly cooks who welcomed him with warm smiles. Those brief visits always brought him some comfort. Lost in thought, he didn't notice he had wandered into the village's rundown district, and a few intoxicated men had taken notice of him. His daydream ended abruptly when a glass bottle shattered near his feet, making him flinch. He turned around to find a group of 6 drunks charging at him. There he is, that demon brat, one of them shouted. Don't let him escape, yelled another. Naruto bolted, running as fast as he could, weaving through alleys. Unfortunately, he soon found himself cornered in a dead end. Before he could react, a bottle smashed into the side of his head, causing a sharp burst of pain. Another man stepped forward and struck him hard in the stomach with a wooden bat. He crumpled to the ground, vision fading, and then darkness. Inside Naruto's mind, Naruto found himself walking through a strange place that looked like a sewer, the water coming up to his knees. Confused and disoriented, he wandered forward until a deep, menacing voice echoed around him. Following the sound, he reached a massive barred gate with a seal bearing a symbol in the center. Come closer, the voice rumbled. Cautiously stepping forward, Naruto saw 2 glowing red eyes staring at him through the bars. Do you know who I am? The voice asked. Looking closer, Naruto could see the enormous fox-like creature with 9 large tails swaying behind it. The memory of a story he once read before the matron had snatched the book away came back to him. You're the 9-tailed fox, Naruto said, trying to sound braver than he felt. The beast grinned. Good, that makes this easier. You're about to die, Naruto's eyes widened. What do you mean I'm going to die? Where am I? This is your inner world, the fox explained. After those people attacked you, your consciousness ended up here. Naruto recalled the attack. So I'm still alive. Indeed, and I summoned you here because I can help you survive. Help me, but you're trapped behind those bars, Naruto questioned. True, but I can still lend you my chakra. Just tear off a small part of that seal. In doing so, you'll be able to tap into my strength, enhance your senses, and will be able to talk directly. Now hurry and make those fools suffer. Naruto hesitated, remembering a promise he made once. Flashback Naruto slurped his ramen enthusiastically, seated beside the Hokage. Old man, why do you always wear that silly hat? Naruto asked curiously. Sarutobi chuckled. This hat Naruto belongs to the Hokage. What's a Hokage? Naruto blinked. The Hokage is the strongest ninja in the village, someone who's acknowledged and protects everyone, he said proudly. Naruto beamed. That's all he ever wanted, to be seen, respected, and accepted. One day I'm gonna take that hat from you, old man. I'll be Hokage, just wait, he declared. Sarutobi smiled. I believe in you, Naruto. You've got the will of fire burning inside you. I can't kill them, Naruto yelled. I swore I'd protect everyone and become Hokage. The fox roared in frustration. Why protect those who hate you? They'll never accept you. As long as I'm SEALED within you, they'll never see you as anything but a monster. Even your precious Hokage has failed you. Naruto stood still, letting the words sink in. Deep down, he knew it was true. No matter what he did, the villagers would always look at him with disgust. For the first time, he accepted that the only one who truly cared if he lived or died was the very being sealed inside him. He reached toward the seal and tore a small piece off. Power surged through him. Bloodlust flooded his senses. Then everything went white. Back in the alley, the drunken men were still beating Naruto's limp body when a surge of sinister red energy erupted, sending them flying. When they looked again, Naruto was standing, but changed. His features had become more feral. Sharper teeth, darker whisker marks, clawed hands, and a red cloak of chakra with a single tail behind him. Without mercy, he extended a claw of chakra and grabbed the nearest attacker. The man screamed as his body burned before being crushed and tossed aside. Naruto didn't hesitate. Slamming his hands into the ground, more chakra limbs burst forth and grabbed two more drunks, squeezing their skulls until they popped. Blood splattered everywhere. He turned to the last three when Kurama's voice echoed in his head. Finish this quickly. The Hokage and others are on the way. Naruto nodded, his body disappearing in a blur before reappearing behind them. In one swift motion, he decapitated them all. Then, the cloak faded and he vanished into the shadows. On the outskirts of the village, what now, Kurama? Naruto asked mentally. For now, we lie low. We'll leave the village while things cool down. In the meantime, I'll train you. And call me Kurama, not Fox. Naruto nodded and ran toward the forest, slipping through an unguarded exit. Thanks to Kurama's chakra, he didn't tire easily. At Kurama's suggestion, he jumped into a river to mask his scent and wash away the blood. Eventually, he stumbled into a cave, far from the village, and collapsed from exhaustion. As he rested, Kurama spoke again. Hey kid, wanna keke genkai? A what? Naruto asked, confused. Kurama sighed, then explained. A keke genkai is a special ability passed through bloodlines. Some are eye-based, like the Sharingan or Byakugan. Others involve mixing elements like ice or lava release. They're incredibly rare and powerful. But how could I get one if I'm not from one of those clans? Naruto asked. With my chakra, I can rewrite parts of your DNA to grant you one. It's dangerous and painful, so I can only do one for now. Maybe another when you're older. So, interested? Naruto thought for a moment. The idea of gaining a new power thrilled him. Yeah, but you pick it, I want it to be a surprise. All right, Kurama said with a grin. Just brace yourself. This is going to hurt, and you'll probably be out for a few days. Naruto leaned back against the cave wall. Pain racked his body as his transformation began. Then, darkness took him once more. Scene of the slaughter. Hiruzen Sarutobi was not having a good day. His morning had started with an avalanche of paperwork, and just as he was finally leaving his office, he sensed a chillingly familiar power, one he hadn't felt since a sorrowful day 6 years ago. When he arrived at the scene with a group of ANBU operatives, the sight that greeted him made his blood run cold. In the middle of the street lay the mangled corpses of 6 individuals. 3 had been decapitated, 2 had their skulls crushed in, and the last was pulverized entirely. It was nothing short of a massacre, yet the culprit had vanished without a trace. Sarutobi turned to one of the masked shinobi. Inu, locate Naruto Uzumaki and bring him to me, he ordered calmly. The silver-haired ANBU gave a sharp hi before disappearing to begin his search. Sarutobi knew what this meant. The council would demand answers, perhaps even blood. And this time, he wasn't sure if he could shield Naruto. He had no choice but to convene a council session, claiming proactiveness before others used the incident to erode his authority. In Yu's mission, only a select few in Konoha knew the truth of Naruto's lineage, that he was the child of Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki. Among them were Jiraiya, the third Hokage, and Hatake Kakashi. Kakashi had always regarded Naruto as the legacy of his fallen sensei, not a monster like many in the village did. He had once sought to adopt the boy, but the third had rejected the idea, thinking it better for Naruto to grow up as an ordinary orphan. Look where that decision led, Kakashi thought bitterly. 6 years of neglect and torment, it's no wonder he finally snapped and retaliated. Following a trail that reeked of blood, Kakashi pressed deeper into the woods, hoping to find the boy before it was too late. Council chambers. The civilian council was in chaos. After Sarutobi relayed the events, shouts erupted, demanding Naruto's execution or imprisonment. The shinobi side remained silent, with Danzo and Fugaku already strategizing how to exploit the situation, while the other clan leaders hoped Naruto hadn't truly lost control. A surge of killing intent from Sarutobi silenced the noise. "We will not make rash decisions," he said coldly. "An investigation is underway, and we will determine whether this was an act of murder or self-defense." The civilians resumed their complaints until Sarutobi's killing intent flared again, silencing them once more. Finally, Danzo spoke. "Hiruzen, should the boy be found guilty, I request that he be remanded to me for emotional conditioning and control." Sarutobi's eyes narrowed. "Absolutely not. If he's guilty, which I doubt, he will face the standard civilian sentencing. No exceptions." With that, the council session was adjourned, and Sarutobi returned to his office, mentally exhausted. Inside Naruto's mind, Naruto awoke in front of the massive iron gate that imprisoned Kurama. Confused, he waited until the fox spoke. "Relax, kid. You're fine. You passed out after I began reconstructing your genetic code. But while we're here, sign this," Kurama said, placing a scroll labeled with the kanji for fox in front of him. "It's the summoning contract for my kin. You'll be able to call them to your aid," the fox explained as Naruto signed his name. "Awesome, did you decide what kind of ability you're giving me?" Naruto asked, visibly buzzing with excitement. Kurama gave a sly grin. "The Uzumaki body is something else. Anyone else would have died from this process. But you. I managed to integrate not one, but 2 Kekkei Genkai into your system before your body started to shut down." Naruto gaped. "One would have been incredible, 2 felt unreal." "Well, come on. What are they?" he pressed, barely containing himself. Kurama chuckled darkly. "I picked 2 bloodlines I usually despise, just to see the looks on those villagers' faces when they realize what you now possess." "You don't mean—" "That's right. You now carry the wood release of the first Hokage and a fully matured Sharingan," Kurama confirmed, voice laced with venom at the mention of the Uchiha. Naruto was stunned. The 2 most powerful bloodlines, and both were his. Training couldn't start soon enough. "How long was I out?" he asked. 2 days. You'll be waking up soon," Kurama replied, curling back into slumber. Meanwhile, with a new Kakashi had tracked Naruto's trail to a river, where the scent abruptly vanished. He scoured the surroundings for 2 days, but found no sign of him. Dejected, he finally turned back toward Konoha, guilt weighing heavily on him. "Sensei, I've failed to protect your legacy. I just hope he returns." Back to Naruto waking up, Naruto felt incredible. Not only had his powers changed, but he was brimming with energy. Kurama explained that thanks to the fox's chakra, Naruto's reserves already matched a low-level Jonin. Currently, Naruto was practicing the shadow clone technique. Kurama had told him mastering it would greatly enhance his training speed. "Kurama-sensei, when can I start working with my new abilities?" Naruto asked mentally. "Soon. First, we'll break into the old Uchiha and Senju estates to retrieve any data or scrolls about using your new gifts." After several hours, Naruto had successfully mastered the jutsu and collapsed, exhausted. "Rest now, kid. Tomorrow, we'll head back to the village to continue training." "Got it," Naruto replied, drifting off to sleep. Next day, Hokage's office. That afternoon, Sarutobi sat at his desk, nose bleeding slightly as he chuckled over a certain orange book. He was so engrossed that he didn't notice the person standing in front of him. "Didn't think you were into that kind of thing, old man," Naruto teased. Startled, the Hokage looked up to see Naruto smirking with arms crossed. Sarutobi hastily hid the book and tried to act normal, but Naruto just sweat-dropped at his poor attempt. "Anyway, I bet you want to know what happened, huh?" Sarutobi nodded seriously. Well, Naruto began, after getting kicked out of the orphanage, I wandered the streets. 6 drunk men came after me, and I tried to escape. They chased me into an alley, and I blacked out. When I came to, I was deep in the woods. As Kurama had advised, Naruto omitted any mention of the fox or their shared plan. The Hokage listened carefully before puffing thoughtfully on his pipe. He chose to believe Naruto. Very well, I'm sorry about the orphanage. I've arranged for you to move into a new apartment, he said, handing Naruto a key and address. Thanks, Jiji. One more thing, Naruto said. What is it? The Hokage asked. I want to join the Ninja Academy and become a shinobi, Naruto lied. He didn't need formal training, just an excuse for his future strength. Sarutobi nodded. You'll be enrolled next semester, 4 months from now. Thanks again, Jiji. Naruto grinned and left, already planning his next moves. Once he was gone, Sarutobi pulled his book back out and resumed reading with a lecherous giggle, a fresh trickle of blood sliding down his face. 4 months later, in the 4 months that had passed, Naruto had committed himself to intense training, aided by Kurama and his shadow clones. He started by refining his chakra control, having dozens of clones practice the tree and water walking techniques repeatedly. Meanwhile, he personally focused on building physical strength, knowing that physical effort couldn't be transferred back from clones. While his clones were occupied, Kurama would inhabit one's consciousness and instruct him in a unique taijutsu style based on fox-like agility and sudden, powerful strikes followed by swift retreats. He was also introduced to a fox-style kenjutsu that emphasized quick, precise blows and exploiting weak points in an enemy's defense. On top of this, Kurama began teaching him the art of sealing, or fuinjutsu. Though Kurama wasn't a master, he had picked up enough from Naruto's previous imprisonment under 2 highly skilled sealing experts. Now Naruto was dressing himself in a set of black ANBU-style trousers, blue sandals, fingerless gloves, a crimson t-shirt, and over it all, a black vest resembling those worn by Jonin. Reaching for his Ryazaburito, or Hellraiser blade, gifted by Kurama and crafted by the foxes, he sealed the katana into a marking on his forearm, avoiding drawing attention by not strapping it to his back. He checked the storage seals on his wrists, which held shuriken and kunai for easy access. The one drawback of this transformation was his reduced intake of ramen. Kurama had scolded him about its nutritional value, blaming the meal for stunting his growth. Now Naruto was limited to 1 ramen meal per week, though that didn't stop him from devouring dozens of bowls in that single sitting. Once ready, he stepped out and began walking toward the academy, ignoring the disdainful looks and quiet mutters from villagers. Keep whispering, fools. One day you'll witness a real demon, Naruto thought, a cold smirk tugging at his lips. They won't even realize what hit them, Kurama chuckled ominously in his mind. Academy classroom. The moment Naruto walked into class, the room fell silent. Unbothered, he strolled over to a vacant seat and settled in. Minutes later, a boy with a puppy perched on his head approached him. With unkempt brown hair, sharp dark eyes with vertical pupils, a feral grin, and red fang marks on his cheeks, Kiba made his move. Everyone turned to see the confrontation unfold. Kiba believed harassing Naruto would boost his reputation. He was about to be proven wrong. Hey, get out of my seat, Kiba said arrogantly. Buzz off, mutt. I'm not in the mood, Naruto replied, his tone flat and dismissive. Kiba scowled. Who do you think you are? You're just a nobody, an orphan. Go crawl back to whatever hole you came from. Usually calm, Naruto knew he had to make a point or endure years of bullying. Rising slowly, he stared Kiba down. What's wrong, you gonna cry? Kiba didn't finish his insult. Naruto's hand was suddenly around his throat, lifting him off the ground. Listen well, dog boy. I'm not here to be anyone's punching bag. Try me again, and your parents will be picking out your gravestone. Understand? Naruto growled, letting Kurama's killing intent seep into the room. Kiba nodded frantically. Naruto let him drop to the floor, gasping for breath. The room remained frozen, fear spreading across every face. 2 Chunin instructors walked in seconds later, puzzled by the unusually quiet class. Roll call began, and both paused when Naruto's name came up, eyes narrowing with distaste. This year's gonna suck, Naruto thought as one teacher spoke. Good morning, students, I'm Uruka and this is Mizuki. We'll be your instructors, helping you learn the basics of being a shinobi over the next few years. Let's start with the basics of chakra, Uruka continued. Naruto tuned out the lecture. He already knew this stuff. By the time the day ended, he was more than ready to leave and return home for dinner. He braced himself, it would be a long 6 years. 2 years later, 2 years had passed, and Naruto had undergone grueling training. He had perfected the Kitsune Taijutsu and Kenjutsu forms taught by Kurama. He had also snuck into the abandoned Senju compound, copying scrolls left behind by Hashirama himself. He didn't take them. He knew he'd be blamed if anything went missing, considering the village's hatred of him. The Senju estate had minimal security, making it an easy job. The Uchiha were a different story, numerous members constantly on watch. He'd need to wait before attempting to sneak into their estate for information on the Sharingan. Back in his apartment, Naruto had just returned from practicing Mokuton techniques when Kurama's voice cut in. "Feel that?" Kurama asked. Naruto paused, using his enhanced sensing abilities. "Yeah, I smell blood. A lot of it." He grinned, bloodlust swirling beneath his calm surface. Kurama's chakra had made him sharper and more dangerous. Without hesitation, Naruto dashed toward the source of the carnage. Uchiha compound. When Naruto arrived, his suspicions were confirmed. Blood soaked the streets, bodies everywhere. A slaughter. Who did this? Naruto wondered. "Whoever it is, I owe them a handshake," Kurama sneered. "About time someone wiped out that cursed clan." Suddenly, Naruto detected movement and slipped behind some nearby crates. Moments later, he spotted Sasuke, wide-eyed, rushing through the chaos toward his family's estate. Naruto followed silently. He heard a scream inside, and moments later, a tall figure in ANBU gear walked out with Sasuke stumbling after them. Naruto didn't care for the drama. He was more interested in the archives. Slipping into the Uchiha archive building, he saw scrolls lining every shelf, techniques, secrets, and more. Creating 20 clones, he had them copy everything they could. With ANBU closing in, he fled, dispersing the clones and bearing the migraine of memory overload as he exited unnoticed. He left with a wide grin and an arsenal of powerful jutsu now etched in his mind. The next day Naruto awoke, went through his routine, and avoided the academy by sending a clone in his place. He had grown tired of the constant sabotage. Despite being among the best, the instructors kept him labeled as dead last. So instead, he trained. He made his way to training ground 44, the Forest of Death, his usual training spot. There, he pulled out the scrolls stolen the night before. One had the kanji for earth, another for water, followed by wind, and finally fire. Thanks to Kurama's genetic tweaks, Naruto now had all 4 affinities: water and earth from Mokuton, fire from his Sharingan heritage, and wind from his natural chakra type. Summoning 300 clones, he split them into groups. Group 1 practiced earth by crumbling leaves with chakra. Group 2 soaked leaves with water chakra. Group 3 sliced leaves with wind chakra. Group 4 incinerated leaves using fire chakra. The remaining 100 did the tree-walking exercise to boost chakra control. Meanwhile, Naruto drilled himself physically, running through weapon forms and sparring katas. Halfway through training, he sensed a presence but dismissed it as wildlife. That was a mistake. Without warning, snakes coiled around him. He could have escaped easily but was curious. "Relax, kid. I don't sense hostility," Kurama assured him. Naruto exhaled, then tensed again as someone pressed up behind him, a kunai brushing his cheek. "Well, what do we have here?" "A little boy wandering around this dangerous forest all by himself." "Care to explain what brings you out here, kid?" came a sultry, unfamiliar voice from behind. Naruto turned his head and laid eyes on a woman with pale amber, featureless eyes and dark hair with a faint bluish hue, tied up in a spiked ponytail that fanned out at the end. She wore a light brown trench coat over a purple-lined outfit, matched with a form-fitting mesh suit running from her neckline down her legs. A burnt orange skirt rested on her hips, and her forehead protector sat proudly on her head. A small fang-shaped charm dangled from a thick cord around her neck. "I was in the middle of training before you interrupted," Naruto replied flatly. The woman smirked, amusement flashing in her eyes. "A bold little guy, aren't you? But a brat like you shouldn't be practicing out here. Where I choose to train has nothing to do with you. Now, kindly get off me before I lose my temper," Naruto said, irritation seeping into his voice. "Heh, you've got guts, kid. Name's Mitarashi Anko, gorgeous, deadly, and currently single. And you are," she said teasingly, pulling her snake-like weapons back and stepping off him. "Uzumaki Naruto. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have work to get back to," he said as he walked away to find another clearing. However, Anko wasn't quite done with him yet. Curious, she silently followed and observed as he resumed his training. After some time, Naruto became aware of her tailing him. Knowing he wouldn't be able to focus properly, he considered that she might actually be useful. Anko-san, care for a little sparring match? Naruto asked without turning around. Anko raised an eyebrow, amused by the proposition. You think you can keep up with me, Squirt? All right then. Don't cry when I'm done with you, she replied smugly. A vein throbbed on Naruto's forehead. He despised being called a brat. But if she underestimated him, that was her mistake to make. They both took their stances. Naruto moved first, a swift roundhouse aimed at her head. Fast was all Anko could register before she dipped under the kick and threw an uppercut. Naruto dodged by leaning back, then followed with a barrage of punches. Anko struggled to keep up and leapt back to gain space. Not bad, Gaki, but still not good enough, she said aloud, though internally she was shocked by his speed. Naruto said nothing and rushed again, landing a clean strike toward her midsection. She evaded and countered, but Naruto danced around her attacks. Spotting an opening, he delivered a chakra-boosted blow, launching her into a nearby tree. Anko was stunned. This kid. He's only what, 8, and he floored me. She looked up to see Naruto offering her a hand. Swallowing her pride, she accepted it. Thanks for the match, Anko-san, Naruto said with a faint smile. She smirked back. Don't let it go to your head, kid. Next time I'm winning. I certainly hope so. Wouldn't want a weak sparring partner, Naruto shot back with a grin. As she dusted herself off, Naruto sensed one of his clones had dispersed. Well, it's been fun, Anko-san, but I've got places to be. I'll see you tomorrow. Later, brat, don't keep me waiting, Anko said, watching him leave. Once he was far enough away, Naruto summoned and dispersed another clone, passing orders to the others for timed dispels. He left the forest with a rare smile. Maybe, just maybe, he made a friend. Hopefully, she wouldn't interfere with his revenge plans. 4 years later, Naruto sat on his bed, crossing out the final technique from his checklist. Over the past 4 years, he had mastered every technique he'd acquired from the Uchiha vault the night of the clan's destruction. He looked at the 6 scrolls laid out before him, each labeled Wind, Fire, Earth, Water, Wood, and Illusion. Wind techniques: Wind Stream, Divine Tempest, Drilling Wind Sphere, Great Wind Burst, Compressed Air Blast. Wind/Fire techniques: Ash Cloud Blast, Dragon Blaze, Inferno Barrage, Majestic Fire Dragon, Great Fireball. Phoenix Flame Shot, Flame Shadow Clone. Earth techniques: Earth Clone, Rising Stone Pillars, Headhunter Technique, Mud Serpent Wave, Earth Dragon Barrage, Earth Divide, Great Mudslide, Stone Wall. Stone Spear Barrage. Water techniques: Water Clone, Water Prison, Surging Wave Crash, Torrential Burst, Water Shot, Wild Stream Blast. Water Dragon. Wood techniques: Wood Clone, Tree World Genesis, 4-Pillar House, Wooden Dome Barrier, Hermit Suppression Seal, Wooden Tentacles. Illusion techniques: Eternal Night Vision, Hellfire Mirage, Dual False Reality, False Setting, Hellscape Vision, Tree Binding Curse. He thought back to the past few years. Despite being dead last in the academy due to biased instructors, he never stopped pushing himself. The final test was tomorrow, one more step toward freedom from their influence. He also thought of Anko. Over the years, they'd trained together in the Forest of Death, refining each other's skills. She had become his closest companion. However, the village council had grown suspicious. Hiding from ANBU became harder, and training spots were now chosen with more care. At least now, he could confidently say he was low Jonin level. With Kurama's help, he reached high Jonin strength. His internal musings were cut off by the voice of the Nine Tails. Snap out of it, Kit. Time to ace that test. Naruto gave a nod, formed a ram hand seal, and vanished in a flurry of leaves. He reappeared in an alley near the academy and strolled in. The classroom fell silent as he entered. Over the past 4 years, he had worked hard to instill fear in his peers, and it had worked. None dared to challenge him. Down the row sat Sasuke, silently gazing out the window. Since his family's death at the hands of his older brother Itachi, he had become quiet and brooding, only gaining more obsessive admirers. Naruto cringed at the thought of fangirls. They were the bane of true shinobi. Right on cue, 2 familiar voices rang out as the main offenders entered the room. Beat you again, pig, screeched the pink-haired girl, Sakura. Keep dreaming, forehead. My foot hit the door first, retorted Ino. They stopped arguing only when they noticed Sasuke sitting alone and dashed toward the seat beside him. Unfortunately for them, Kiba had already claimed it. Move it, dog boy, I'm sitting there, Sakura shouted. Kiba, annoyed by their demands, wanted dominance over the class. In his eyes, Sasuke was in his way. So Kiba jumped on the desk and challenged Sasuke with a glare. The two locked eyes, tension thick, until a shove from behind sent Kiba stumbling forward. Time seemed to freeze as Kiba's lips accidentally landed on Sasuke's. For 2 eternal seconds, they stayed like that before leaping apart, gagging and horrified. As Kiba spat out the remnants of his unintended kiss with Sasuke, Naruto picked up the sharp flare of killing intent radiating from every girl in the class toward Kiba. Apparently, they weren't thrilled that their beloved Sasuke-kun had his first kiss stolen. Without hesitation, they lunged at Kiba, delivering a collective beatdown that left him crumpled and barely conscious. Naruto let out a dry sigh as his nose twitched, catching a particular scent, pheromones. Kiba somehow had enjoyed the assault. Disgusting freak, how much lower can you go? Naruto mused with a grimace. Oh, Kit, you'd be amazed. I've witnessed far worse, Kurama snorted. He then proceeded to bombard Naruto's mind with graphic memories of the more twisted things he'd seen. By the end, Naruto was questioning his grip on reality. The classroom had just quieted down when Uruka walked in, Mizuki right behind him. All right, everyone, today is your graduation test. If you pass, you'll earn your headbands and become full-fledged genin of the Hidden Leaf. The first stage was a written portion, which Naruto breezed through with ease. Next came weapon proficiency. He deliberately held back, aiming for average to avoid drawing attention. The final part was a demonstration of the 3 basic academy jutsu. Naruto nailed them all flawlessly, which didn't seem to sit well with either Uruka or Mizuki. As he left the academy building, enhanced senses picked up Mizuki's voice. Curious, he activated the chameleon technique to blend into the surroundings and moved closer. It looked like Mizuki was speaking to a girl, Ami, one of the students who had failed. If you really want to pass, I can give you another opportunity, Mizuki offered with a sugar-slick tone. Seriously, Mizuki-sensei, Ami squealed, her eyes lighting up. Absolutely. All you have to do is prove yourself in a field exam. You'll need to sneak into the Hokage Tower, steal the scroll of sealing, and bring it back to me. Do that and you've earned your headband, he said with a smile that screamed deceit. I won't disappoint you, Mizuki-sensei. She chirped and ran off to start the task. Kurama stirred in Naruto's mind. You realize what this means, right? Yeah. If I swipe the scroll before Mizuki can get away, I can copy the techniques for myself. The real question is how. Track him. Let him think he succeeded. When he's far enough, kill him, memorize the contents, and destroy the scroll. Kurama's voice was firm. Naruto nodded, deciding the plan was solid. He figured Mizuki would dispose of Ami once he had what he wanted, but Naruto didn't care what happened to anyone in this cursed village. Later that night, Naruto tailed Ami from a distance as she carried the forbidden scroll. He was cautious, staying outside the range of the Hokage surveillance crystal. Someone's following her, Kurama warned. Naruto responded by creating a silent clone to continue trailing Ami while he stayed behind to intercept whoever was on her tail. Moments later, Uruka emerged from the trees. So he's trying to stop her. Sorry, can't let that happen, Naruto thought as he formed hand signs. Activating his Sharingan, Naruto whispered, wood-style, wooden snare. Vines erupted and wrapped around Uruka, locking him in place. Before Uruka could cry for help, Naruto dropped from above and met his eyes, trapping him in a genjutsu that made him fall unconscious. Nice work, Kit. Better catch up to the girl, Kurama said. Naruto arrived just in time to see Mizuki launch a massive shuriken, slicing Ami down. Her lifeless body crumpled as Mizuki jumped down to retrieve the scroll and vanished into the woods, heading north. Naruto followed silently. 3 hours later, Mizuki and Naruto were now far beyond the Fire Nation border, nearing Rice Country. Naruto stepped out in front of him with a grin that screamed bloodlust. Fancy meeting you here, traitor, Naruto said, eyes gleaming. And with the forbidden scroll no less, how delightful. Mizuki's eyes widened in disbelief. You, I expected A and B, you not. You. What are you doing here, monster? Naruto smirked. Oh, I'm just here to take that scroll off your hands, Mizuki scoffed. You think you can take me down, you're nothing but a runt. Naruto grinned wider. Try me. Hand it over now and I might make your death quick. You're delusional. Once I hand this to Orochimaru-sama, I'll be showered in wealth and power. Want to know why the village really despises you? Mizuki sneered. Naruto rolled his eyes. Not really, but go ahead. 12 years ago, the fourth didn't destroy the nine tails. He locked it inside you. You are the nine-tailed fox. Naruto's smirk turned feral. Oh, I know, and it's fitting that I kill you with his power. Mizuki paled as red chakra surged around Naruto. His whiskers darkened, hands morphed into claws, eyes glowed menacingly, fangs lengthened, and a single-tailed chakra cloak surrounded him. Terrified yet? Good. I want this to be the last thing you see, Naruto growled before launching forward. Mizuki managed to dodge, breaking into a run. But before he could escape far, a chakra limb burst from the ground, searing his skin as it grabbed and hurled him into a nearby tree. As Mizuki coughed up blood, Naruto advanced, still cloaked in demonic chakra. Get away from me, Mizuki screamed. Now, don't be like that, Naruto said darkly. A second chakra arm ripped the scroll from Mizuki's back. He flung Mizuki skyward and quickly weaved signs. Fire style, great fireball jutsu. A massive fireball engulfed Mizuki midair, reducing him to ash. Naruto unrolled the scroll and activated his Sharingan, scanning and memorizing the contents. Most of it was already familiar to him from the Uchiha archives, but 4 entries stood out. Rasengan A rank developed by the 4th Hokage. Flying Thunder God technique S rank also created by the 4th. Clone Great Explosion A rank by Uchiha Itachi. Summoning. Reanimation Jutsu S rank forbidden technique by the 2nd Hokage. Naruto acknowledged that the latter two would take time and deeper knowledge of sealing arts to master, but the others were within reach. He incinerated the scroll with a minor fire technique and turned back toward the village. His mind was already planning for the day he would return the pain Konoha had caused him, tenfold. Hokage office Hiruzen Sarutobi was in a foul mood. Paperwork piled on his desk, and the civilian council was growing anxious over Naruto's recent silence. Ever since Naruto was assaulted and vanished for 3 days, he had changed. Quiet, distant, unreadable. He no longer visited the Hokage, nor mentioned dreams of becoming leader. Sarutobi feared Naruto resented the village. Still, he clung to the hope that Naruto's heart remained loyal. Unbeknownst to him, his worst fears were already reality, and the forbidden scroll he'd hoped was lost to the wilderness. Already burned, after revealing its secrets to the last person he ever wanted holding them. Academy Naruto arrived at the academy just in time, completely drained. He had spent the entire night making his way back to the village, just so he wouldn't miss the team assignments. When Uruka stepped into the room, Naruto could tell he had no recollection of what had happened, exactly as planned. The genjutsu he cast ensured Uruka forgot everything. The only way to recall it now would be with a Yamanaka's intervention, and Naruto doubted Uruka would agree to that. All right, class, I'm proud to say that you all passed. From this day forward, we're no longer student and instructor, but fellow shinobi, Uruka announced with a smile, which faltered when his eyes landed on Naruto. Comrades, sure, Naruto thought bitterly. I'll now begin assigning the teams, Uruka continued. Team 1 will consist of, Naruto zoned out, uninterested in the team rosters. He scanned the room, noting who had managed to pass. Nara Shikamaru, a lazy genius and heir to the Nara clan. Akimichi Choji, his loyal best friend. Inuzuka Kiba, loud and impulsive. Hyuga Hinata, the timid heiress of the Hyuga clan. How she'll ever lead her clan is beyond me, Naruto mused as his gaze drifted across the class. Then there was Yamanaka Ino, another clan heiress and a rabid member of the Sasuke fan club. Aburame Shino, quiet and reserved, someone Naruto felt he could understand. Haruno Sakura, a civilian with no talent, loud, obnoxious, and irritating, second only to Kiba. Her mother had a seat on the village council. I'll make sure to settle the score with her mother before I leave this cursed village, Naruto thought coldly. And finally, the Uchiha. Sasuke, brooding, self-absorbed, and possibly batting for the other team. As much as Naruto and Kurama despised the Uchiha, he knew Sasuke might prove useful. If he could dig up some dirt on him, manipulating him would be easy. The rest of the students were just filler, no family names, no influence. Team 7 will be Haruno Sakura, Uchiha Sasuke, Sakura squealed in joy, and Uzumaki Naruto. Your Jonin leader will be Hadake Kakashi. Sakura's joy instantly faded. Naruto, however, allowed himself a small smirk, being teamed with Sasuke presented opportunities. Team 8. Inuzuka Kiba, Hyuga Hinata, Aburame Shino. Your leader will be Yuhei Kurenai. Team 9 is still active, so Team 10 will be Nara Shikamaru, Yamanaka Ino, and Ikimichi Choji under Sarutobi Asuma. Uruka wrapped up and dismissed the class for lunch. Naruto headed straight to the Hawkage Tower. He knew the monthly meetings would mean minimal security. Hawkage Tower inside the archive room, Naruto deployed shadow clones to speed up the search. After 30 minutes of digging, he shifted to the Hawkage's personal office. After a few minutes, he found a locked cabinet sealed with chakra. Channeling just enough of Kurama's energy to break the seal without alerting the ANBU, he broke in. 2 files inside made his eyes widen. The first was a Black Ops mission report, an assignment given to Uchiha Itachi. The task: eliminate the Uchiha clan due to their planned rebellion. The mission was authorized by the third Hokage and his 3 advisors, Himura, Koharu, and Danzo. This information alone was more than enough to manipulate Sasuke. Far away in Aimgakure, a masked man sneezed, unaware someone else was also scheming to exploit Sasuke. The second file stunned Naruto even more. It was a highly classified report detailing his lineage. His mother, Uzumaki Kushina, last known survivor of the Uzumaki clan. His father, Namikaze Minato, the 4th Hokage and leader of one of Konoha's wealthiest clans. Together, their assets funded more than half of the village. Naruto's fury boiled over. They let him rot in a crumbling apartment while withholding his inheritance. The implications were massive. If he pulled his money from Konoha's banks, it could cause a financial crisis. He grinned. Now he had leverage. "Did you know about this, Kurama?" Naruto asked silently. "Not at all," Kurama lied smoothly, not wanting to provoke Naruto's anger. "You should get going." "It's almost been an hour," Kurama advised. Naruto nodded and slipped out undetected. His mind raced, anger, betrayal, revelation, and a quiet satisfaction all bubbling beneath the surface. Academy Naruto rejoined his assigned team, still deep in thought about his next move. Kurama spoke up again. "Here's an idea: confront the old man, demand your rights. If he hesitates, threaten to go straight to the fire daimyo. The council won't want that kind of exposure. Either way, you win and Konoha loses." "That's actually brilliant. I could kiss you, Kurama," Naruto thought excitedly. "Let's not get carried away," Kurama replied dryly. Only Naruto and his teammates remained in the room now. Their Jonin hadn't shown. Elsewhere, Kakashi stood at the memorial stone, his emotions conflicted. On one hand, he was proud to train the son of his late sensei. On the other, the council had pushed him to prioritize Sasuke, hoping he'd pass on all his techniques to the Uchiha. Sakura's mother had even requested he go easy on her daughter. Honestly, Naruto seemed like the only worthwhile student. Checking the time, he vanished in a swirl of leaves toward the academy. Academy rooftop Kakashi popped his head into the classroom, told them to meet him on the roof, then vanished. Naruto simply disappeared in his own shunshin, surprising his teammates. Kakashi leaned on the railing as Naruto materialized and sat quietly. "Shunshin? Interesting, wasn't he the class dead last?" Kakashi noted. A few minutes later, Sakura and Sasuke arrived. Kakashi began introductions. "First impression, I hate you all," Kakashi said bluntly. Sasuke and Sakura frowned. Naruto stayed unreadable. "Name, likes, dislikes, hobbies, and dreams." "Start with me?" "Fine. Name, Haddock Kakashi. Likes, classified, dislikes, also classified. Hobbies and dreams, none of your business. You, Pinky." Sakura, irritated by the nickname, complied. "I'm Haruno Sakura. I like," she glanced at Sasuke, blushing. "I dislike Inopig," and she glanced at Naruto with unease. "My hobbies are," more blushing. "And my dream," she giggled again. "Fangirl, great." Kakashi sighed mentally. "All right, Broody. I'm Uchiha Sasuke. I dislike a lot, like little, no hobbies. My only goal is revenge and restoring my clan." "Fantastic, an emo avenger." "Your turn, Blondie." Naruto's face was unreadable. "Uzumaki Naruto, that's all that matters." Kakashi frowned. "When did he become so cold?" "All right, now that we've learned nothing useful, meet me tomorrow at Training Ground 7. It's a genin test. Don't eat breakfast, you'll regret it." And with that, he vanished in smoke. Sasuke went off to train, Sakura chased after him, and Naruto walked toward the Hokage Tower. Hokage's office Hiruzen was having a peaceful day, finally finished with his paperwork and reading his favorite book. Little did he know, a storm named Naruto was about to blow into his office, and his day was about to get a whole lot worse. Naruto marched toward the Hokage Tower, ignoring the protests of the secretary behind him as he stormed past. He reached the office doors before any ANBU could intercept him, kicked them open, and stepped inside. Hiruzen Sarutobi jolted in surprise, quickly tucking away a book as he registered the fury on Naruto's face, a stark contrast to the cheerful expression he once wore. Hokage-sama, I need to speak with you immediately, Naruto said, barely keeping his temper in check. Moments later, the ANBU entered the office, but Sarutobi halted them with a wave of his hand. The masked shinobi exited silently, closing the door behind them. The aged Hokage turned back to Naruto, his expression now devoid of the usual warmth. What is it you want to discuss, Naruto? He asked, voice firm and serious. I want to know why you thought it was acceptable to keep my lineage a secret from me, Naruto snapped, finally allowing his anger to rise to the surface. Sarutobi was visibly taken aback. Without delay, he activated several privacy seals, then faced Naruto again, shame flickering in his eyes. Do you know who your parents are, Naruto? He asked quietly. I do, Naruto replied, walking toward the window and gazing at the mountain carvings. My mother was Uzumaki Kushina, Kunoichi and last known member of the Uzumaki clan. My father was Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage. The revelation stunned Sarutobi. Only a handful of individuals knew that truth, Jiraiya and Kakashi being among them. He needed to know which one told Naruto. Who gave you this information? The only one who's ever truly looked out for me, Naruto answered, leading Sarutobi to believe he meant Kakashi. But then Naruto added, he's been with me my whole life. Especially when I had no one else. Confused, Sarutobi furrowed his brow. Naruto noticed and clarified. His name is Kurama, or as you might know him, Kyuubi, he stated flatly. Sarutobi dropped his pipe at the mention of the tailed beast, suddenly fearing the worst. Naruto, you can't trust the Nine Tails. He's dangerous. He'll manipulate you and toss you aside when you're no longer useful, Sarutobi warned earnestly. The fox is malevolent and must never be trusted. Naruto's expression darkened. Kurama's done more for me than anyone else. He protected me when I was attacked, when I was isolated. More than you ever did, Hokage-sama. Sarutobi looked away, guilt weighing on him. After a moment he faced Naruto again. I'm sorry, Naruto, I've made many mistakes. And I regret a great deal. Then you can start making it right, Naruto said sharply. Give me what belongs to me, my inheritance, my family's property. You may have the estate, Sarutobi responded carefully. But the financial inheritance is not something I can authorize alone. I'm sorry, Naruto's patience snapped. I don't care. I'm taking what's rightfully mine, Sarutobi. Call the council, you've left me no choice. Sarutobi stared into Naruto's icy blue gaze and saw the resolve there. He sighed heavily, knowing the chaos to come. Very well. Follow me, he said, leading Naruto to the council chamber and instructing an ANBU to summon its members. Konoha Council Chambers. 1 hour later the room slowly filled with council members, many of whom were puzzled by the urgent summons. Murmurs rose from the civilian side as they spotted Naruto and whispered disdainfully. Elder Uchiha Koharu finally broke the silence. Hokage-sama, what is the meaning of this meeting? Sarutobi exhaled and gestured toward Naruto. I didn't call this session. Naruto did. The council turned their attention to him, and one of the civilian members sneered. And what could the boy possibly need that would warrant a full council gathering? Naruto stepped forward. I requested this meeting because the Hokage refused to grant me what belongs to me. Danzo's eyes narrowed. And what have you asked for? Naruto locked eyes with him. My inheritance. The wealth and assets of both the Uzumaki and Namikaze clans. Outrage erupted from the civilian members, many shouting their denials, rejecting Naruto's claim. Narashikaku raised his hand and spoke calmly. Is this true, Hokage-sama? Is Naruto the rightful heir to both clans? Sarutobi nodded solemnly. It's true. Naruto is the son of Uzumaki Kushina and the fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze. I was one of the few who knew. Gasps filled the room. A pink-haired civilian woman stood. That's absurd. The fourth had no child. This boy cannot be his. Sarutobi's gaze sharpened. Are you questioning the word of your Hokage, civilian? She sat down quickly, intimidated into silence. Shikaku spoke again. Even so, the funds tied to those clans make up nearly half of Konoha's economy. Paying it all at once could cripple us. Naruto's gaze hardened. So you're refusing to return what belongs to me? A smug merchant replied. That's exactly right. What will you do now? Naruto began to chuckle, softly at first, then louder. The room stiffened as his laughter became unsettling. Heck, good, that means I can do this. With a malicious grin, he performed a set of hand signs and slammed his hand to the ground, summoning a small fox. Hello Heideki, do you have the fire daimyo's response? The fox nodded. Of course, Naruto-sama, he gave me this to deliver to the council. The fox handed Naruto a scroll and vanished in a puff of smoke. The room went silent in disbelief. A fox summon, and a scroll from the daimyo. Naruto unfurled it, read briefly, and passed it to Sarutobi, who paled as he read the contents. One of the merchants demanded, "What does it say, Hokage-sama?" Sarutobi sighed. This decree states that Naruto is to receive his full inheritance immediately. If we fail to comply, the daimyo will withdraw all financial support from Konoha. The scroll is sealed and signed by the fire daimyo himself. Panic rippled through the room. Naruto had just seized control of the situation. The civilian members exploded in protest, while the shinobi side remained grim but resigned. Orders from the daimyo couldn't be ignored. Sarutobi raised his hand to silence the room. Enough. Naruto, follow me, will handle the paperwork. When the civilians began to protest again, Sarutobi flared his killing intent, silencing them. He dismissed the council and returned to his office with Naruto in tow. Inside, Sarutobi walked to the Yandame's portrait, removed it, and unlocked the safe hidden behind it. He retrieved 3 scrolls and a key, handing them over. These were left by your father. One is a personal letter. Another contains his most renowned techniques. The last is a financial record. The key is to the Namikaze estate. He also handed over a map. The combined Uzumaki and Namikaze assets total roughly 700 million ryo. We'll transfer 500 million now. The rest will come from mission commission percentages. Naruto accepted the items in silence, turned to leave, but paused when Sarutobi asked, "What happened to you, Naruto? What happened to the boy who dreamed of becoming Hokage? Who wanted the village to recognize him?" Naruto looked over his shoulder, his expression cold and detached. That Naruto died the day the villagers tried to kill him. Now they'll answer for what they did. With that, he vanished in a swirl of leaves. Sarutobi stared at the Yandame's portrait. "I'm sorry, Minato, I failed you." He lowered his head and began the paperwork. With Naruto appeared in his old apartment, gathering the few belongings he owned. Once everything was packed, he began heading toward his new residence. As he strolled through the village, he ignored the all-too-familiar stares and hushed insults. He merely smirked as he passed by, moving into the upper-class area of the Leaf. He could sense a few ninja tailing him, but he didn't care, they'd see where he was going. He stopped in front of a grand estate labeled with the Namikaze crest. A blood seal shimmered faintly on the gate. Cutting his thumb, Naruto pressed it against the seal, which glowed before unlocking the entrance. He walked through the gates, taking in the sight of the compound. It was a 2-story European-style mansion with a spacious front lawn and a backyard built like a personal training field. Using the key that the Sandame had given him, he entered the house. The interior was filled with top-quality furnishings and equipment. Upstairs, he found 6 rooms. 3 were clearly designed as master bedrooms, 2 were oversized chambers, and 1 was a massive study filled with scrolls and literature. Curious, he pulled a book from the shelf. It was on advanced sealing methods. "With these scrolls, I can master Fuinjutsu before I leave this village. They might even help me perfect the Flying Thunder God technique and the reanimation jutsu for personal use," Naruto thought. Before heading to check out the basement, he summoned 30 shadow clones. "Here's what you'll do. 10 of you will focus on advanced sealing theory, 10 will work on completing the Hurashin, and the rest will study the reanimation jutsu." With that, the clones scattered, and Naruto descended to the basement. At the bottom, he came across a heavy steel door marked with another blood seal. After applying blood, the lock released, revealing an enormous armory. Weapons lined the walls, katanas, tantos, and more. On the far side were crates full of kunai, shuriken, explosive notes, healing pills, smoke bombs, and tripronged kunai specialized for teleportation. It was enough to outfit an entire battalion. "These will come in handy when I bring this village to its knees," Naruto thought coldly. Realizing it was late, he went upstairs, randomly chose a bedroom, and decided to sleep, at least while he still resided within Konoha. The next morning, training field 7 Sasuke and Sakura waited at the designated training ground for their tardy teacher and their elusive blonde teammate. Naruto arrived wearing black shinobi pants, a crimson shirt, fingerless gloves with metal plates, navy sandals, and a black and red camo vest. As he walked toward them, eating an apple, his expression remained unreadable. "You're late," Sakura shouted. Naruto ignored her and sat down, pulling out a sealing textbook. Irritated, Sakura charged at him in anger, ready to strike. Naruto calmly evaded, unsealed his blade, and brought it to her neck in one motion. His eyes bore into her with a chilling calm. "What exactly did you think you were doing, Haruno?" Frozen with fear, Sakura stammered. "I'm sorry, I won't do it again." Without a word, Naruto resealed the blade and returned to his reading. Sasuke, watching silently, found himself intrigued. The dead last shouldn't be this competent, and yet 2 hours later, a puff of smoke erupted and revealed their masked instructor holding a clock and 2 lunch boxes. "Yo," Kakashi greeted casually with an ice smile. Sakura screamed, "You're late," while Sasuke looked annoyed. Naruto didn't even lift his gaze from his book. "I got lost on the path of life," Kakashi offered weakly. Even Naruto sweat-dropped at the poor excuse. Kakashi placed the bentos and a clock on the wooden posts nearby, then turned to the genin, holding up 2 bells. "To pass, you'll need to take these bells from me," he announced. "But sensei, there are only 2 bells," Sakura said confused. "Exactly. One of you won't pass and will be sent back to the academy. Also, if no one gets a bell before time runs out, the losers get tied to a post while I eat lunch. Oh, and don't hold back, come at me like you mean to kill." With that, Kakashi set the timer. "Begin." All 3 genins scattered to form strategies. "Only 2 bells but 3 students. That's not how squads are assigned. I see what you're doing, Kakashi," Naruto smirked, understanding the hidden lesson. He created silent shadow clones and set traps. Remembering Kakashi's words about intent to kill, Naruto planned to give him exactly that. Training Field 7 continued from his perch. Naruto observed Kakashi reading his orange book. He sensed Sasuke hidden in a tree and Sakura hiding in some bushes. One of his clones appeared and reported the trap was ready. He turned his focus to Kakashi, just in time to see Sasuke attack. The Uchiha used clean taijutsu, forcing Kakashi to put away his book. A fierce exchange followed. Sasuke attempted a roundhouse, which Kakashi blocked, and then aimed a punch, but the Jonin caught it. Using that opening, Sasuke grabbed for the bells, prompting Kakashi to shove him away. Sasuke quickly weaved signs. "Fire style, fireball technique." "That's too much chakra for a genin," Kakashi thought, surprised. As the flames faded, Kakashi was gone. Suddenly, a hand burst from below Sasuke. "Earth style, headhunter jutsu." The Uchiha was pulled underground, leaving only his head above the surface. Kakashi appeared in front of him. "Decent taijutsu. Needs refinement." "Get me out," Sasuke shouted angrily. "Not happening," Kakashi grinned and walked off. Kakashi spotted Sakura and, staying hidden, cast a genjutsu to test her. The result was disappointing. Sakura heard movement. Who's there?" Sasuke stumbled out, wounded and bloodied. "Help me," she screamed and fainted. Kakashi, watching, sighed. "She was top of her class," he muttered. Suddenly, wind style. Drilling air bullet. A gust knocked Kakashi into the open. He recovered as 10 Naruto clones surrounded him. 6 launched into close combat, their unorthodox taijutsu giving Kakashi trouble, though he still countered efficiently. After eliminating them, he saw the remaining 4 finish hand signs. "Fire style, fire dragon technique." Flames surged toward him. Eyes widening, Kakashi barely escaped with a substitution. Hiding in the trees, he stayed alert. On the ground, Sakura watched in shock, Sasuke fuming. "He used so many high-level jutsu," thought Sakura. "That should have been me, I need that power," Sasuke snarled internally. "I underestimated Naruto," Kakashi muttered aloud. "Appreciate the compliment," a voice said from behind. Kakashi leapt just as Naruto's blade cleaved the branch. The two landed in the clearing. Kakashi drew a kunai while Naruto stood with his katana, eyes cold. "You've come far, Naruto," Kakashi praised. Naruto replied without emotion. "I'm not even trying yet, sensei." Naruto began channeling wind chakra into his katana, sharpening its edge. He sliced through Kakashi's kunai effortlessly, like a hot blade through soft butter. Kakashi quickly leapt back but still felt a shallow cut through his vest. Impressed, Kakashi noted that Naruto had put him on the defensive. Though Naruto wasn't able to attack, he was clearly at least at a high Chunin level. Before Naruto could continue the sword fight, the timer rang, signaling the end of the exercise. All right, time's up, and you didn't get the bells, Kakashi said with a slight smile in his eye. Sasuke and Sakura emerged from the bushes, each showing very different reactions to what they had witnessed. Sakura's expression mixed awe and fear, while Sasuke wore a scowl. Naruto kept his usual emotionless mask, ignoring his teammates entirely. Sasuke strode up to Naruto demanding, "Where did you learn that technique? Show me." Naruto ignored Sasuke and spoke up instead, "Actually, sensei, maybe you should double-check your bells." "Don't ignore me, Dobi," Sasuke yelled, but quickly realized Naruto was still not paying him any attention. "Sasuke, be quiet, it's Naruto's jutsu. If he doesn't want to share it, he doesn't have to," Kakashi snapped. Taking Naruto's advice, Kakashi inspected the bells and discovered they were missing. He was genuinely shocked. When did he manage to get the bells? Kakashi wondered. Naruto then held up the bells he'd taken from Kakashi. "Good job, Naruto. You have an extra bell, who will you give it to?" Naruto turned to face Sasuke and Sakura, recalling something Kurama had once told him. "Look beneath the beneath." He tossed both bells to them before speaking. "They both get one because they're my teammates, and it wouldn't be a full team without them, right, Kakashi-sensei?" Naruto lied, having figured out the test's real purpose but secretly disliking the idea of cooperating with them. "You all pass," Kakashi declared, a smile in his eye. Looks like he understood the true purpose of the test, Kakashi thought. "Exactly, Naruto. The real point of this test was to force you all to work as a team to get the bells from me. But because Naruto handed them over, he showed he could be a team player. Remember, those who disobey orders are worthless, but those who abandon their comrades are even worse." Sakura sighed in relief that she'd stay on her Sasuke-kun's team. Sasuke was angry about having to accept pity from Naruto, though a part of him was glad to finally be a genin, one step closer to his goal. Kakashi dismissed his genin with instructions to report here for their first mission and disappeared in a puff of smoke. Sasuke left, determined to train hard, while Sakura followed him like a lost puppy asking for a date. Naruto drifted back to his estate in a swirl of wind. At Naruto's place, Naruto was at his private training ground, working to master the Rasengan. Usually, it took months to learn, but with the help of 200 shadow clones training alongside him, he estimated he'd master it by nightfall. When he returned home, he received a report on the progress of the research into the Hiraishin and Edo Tensei Jutsu. His clones predicted completion in 5 months. So far, they'd discovered that both jutsu were types of summoning techniques. The Hiraishin used sealing formulas on the kunai to create a summoning point, allowing the user to teleport instantly by using minimal chakra. The Edo Tensei was far more complicated. It summoned souls from the afterlife and placed them into new bodies. This required sacrificing a living person to act as a vessel for the soul. These bodies were virtually indestructible and self-regenerating. The only way to stop them was by sealing. A challenge with Edo Tensei was controlling the soul. The user had to be stronger than the summoned soul, or else the soul could rebel. Naruto had no worries, though, with his DNA containing both Sharingan and Mokuton genes, he could easily dominate and control summoned souls. Now all he needed was to start grave robbing, though he'd have to be careful. Either way, once finished, both jutsu would be powerful additions to his arsenal. He left the compound to get dinner, leaving his clones to their tasks. Walking toward Ikaraku Ramen, Naruto ignored the usual glares. Stepping inside, he smiled. This small ramen shop was the only place he'd ever been as a kid where he wasn't chased away. He hoped they'd survive when he eventually destroyed Konoha. "Welcome to Ikaraku Ramen. What can I get for you?" asked Ayame, a young waitress. "The usual Ayame-nichan," Naruto replied with a grin. Ayame recognized him immediately and turned around. "Oh, Naruto-kun, it's been so long. Where have you been?" Naruto realized it had been 8 months since his last visit, all spent training and planning revenge. "You know me, Ayame-nichan, getting stronger," Naruto said sincerely. Ayame headed to the kitchen and returned with his ramen 5 minutes later. Naruto savored each bite, recalling memories from his childhood spent at the stand. After downing 20 bowls, he paid and thanked Ayame before heading home, wondering what tomorrow might bring. 2 months later, if Naruto hadn't hated Konoha before, he sure did now. The last 2 months had been brutal for Naruto and his team. They kept getting D-rank missions, and Naruto hated the pointless chores meant to improve teamwork. As Kakashi always said, though Kakashi never helped, instead just laughing quietly at his book. They just finished capturing the Fire Daimyo's wife's cat, Tora, and Naruto had to suppress all urges to crush the cat's mind with his Sharingan. "Oh, my sweet Tora-chan, are you okay? Mommy missed you." The daimyo's wife was squeezing the cat between her cleavage, which gave Naruto a twisted sense of satisfaction watching it suffer. The third Hokage was reviewing the D-rank missions. "Since your team completed another D-rank mission, you now have a choice. Walk some dogs, babysit, or, no, Tora-chan, come back," the daimyo's wife cried as the cat escaped again. "Or capture Tora again," Sarutobi finished. Naruto radiated an intense killing intent that made everyone nervous and sweat. "If I have to chase that damn cat one more time, I swear I'll return it in ASHES," Naruto shouted angrily. Kakashi stepped in to calm the room. "Hokage-sama, I think Team 7 is ready for a C-rank mission." "Yes, Team 7 is more than ready for a C-rank," the third Hokage agreed. "Tazuna-san, please come in," Sarutobi said. Team 7 turned to see a man in his 50s holding a sake bottle, clearly drunk. "This is what I get for my money. A couple of brats and their sensei. You promised ninja, Hokage-sama," Tazuna slurred. "I assure you, Tazuna-san, these genin are more than capable of protecting you," Sarutobi replied. Then turning to the team, he said, "Team 7, your mission is to escort Tazuna-san to his home in the Land of Waves and protect him until his bridge is finished." Team 7 nodded, and Kakashi told them to meet at the gate in 2 hours. 2 hours later, Naruto hid in the shadows near the gate, waiting for his teammates and Kakashi. He watched as Tazuna fidgeted nervously and checked his gear once more, including 4 sealing tattoos. These seals stored his Hellraiser blade, kunai, shuriken, and a summoning tattoo for foxes. He checked his vest pockets holding scrolls filled with cloth, money, and medical supplies. Naruto glanced down the street and saw Sasuke approaching the gate, Sakura following closely behind. Kakashi arrived 5 minutes later. "Okay, is everyone packed and ready?" Kakashi asked with a small smile. He noticed Sakura and Sasuke carried backpacks, but Naruto wore only his usual clothes. "Naruto, where's your gear?" Kakashi asked. Naruto showed no emotion and pulled out 2 scrolls from his pocket. "In here, sensei," he said, pointing to the scrolls. Kakashi nodded, but Sasuke and Sakura looked confused. Naruto sighed at their faces. "You know, people say you're the best in the academy, but honestly, you're a bunch of idiots. These are storage scrolls, a fuinjutsu tool that lets me store items sealed inside," Naruto explained. Sasuke and Sakura glared at Naruto for calling them idiots, though Kakashi quietly agreed, the academy's top students should at least know what storage scrolls were. After the tension eased, Kakashi led them through the gate, and they set off toward the Land of Waves. Midway to Nami no Kuni, as Team 7 made their way through the forest toward Nami no Kuni, they noticed a lone puddle sitting right in the middle of the path. Naruto and Kakashi sensed something off about it, while the others didn't seem to notice. When they stepped past it, Kakashi slowed and fell behind the group. Suddenly, 2 shinobi wearing water-breathing masks and wielding chained gauntlets emerged from the puddle, wrapping their chains around Kakashi and tearing him apart. "One's down," said the first shinobi. "3 more to go," said the second. "Kakashi-sensei," Sakura cried out in shock as Naruto and Sasuke immediately sprang into action, rushing toward the attackers. Naruto drew his katana and infused it with wind chakra, sharpening the blade, and swung at the attacker's head. The shinobi raised his gauntlet to block, but failed to notice the wind chakra coating the blade, which sliced clean through the gauntlet, severing his hand. He screamed, clutching the wound as blood poured out. "Mizu!" shouted the other shinobi. The wounded one, Mizu, howled in pain until Naruto beheaded him with a satisfied grin. Gazu, the older brother, stared in disbelief at his fallen sibling, forgetting all about Sasuke. Taking advantage of his distraction, Sasuke quickly ensnared Gazu in ninja wire, immobilizing him. Kakashi dropped down from a tree and took in the scene. Mizu's head lying on the ground, Naruto's gleeful expression, Sasuke's smirk, the bound Gazu, and a frightened Sakura and Tazuna. "Nice work, team." "Naruto, you didn't have to kill him," Kakashi said. Naruto's grin faded as he shrugged. "We're shinobi. Killing is part of the job." Kakashi approached the crying Gazu, his tone serious. "Why did you attack us?" Gazu glared up, eyes burning with rage. "You killed my brother. I'll never say a word." "Sensei, I might be able to get him to talk if I have a few moments alone with him," Naruto offered. Kakashi hesitated, worried Naruto might kill Gazu, but he'd stay close enough to intervene if needed. All right, Naruto, what's your plan? Kakashi asked. Naruto smirked. Don't worry, sensei. By the time I'm done, he'll be singing like a canary. Dragging Gazu into the bushes, Naruto activated his Mangekyou Sharingan. Whispering one word, Tsukuyomi, he pulled Gazu into the genjutsu. Tsukuyomi realm Gazu found himself bound to a cross in a crimson-black void, his whole body ablaze with agony. Naruto appeared before him, katana in hand, and a manic grin on his face. Welcome to my Tsukuyomi, a world where I am God. Here I bend space and time. We could spend weeks in this place while only seconds pass outside. Now tell me why you attacked us. You. I won't say a thing, Gazu shouted. Naruto only smiled and stabbed him in the heart. Gazu collapsed, thinking he was dead, only to awaken again in the same torment. Keep refusing, and I'll keep torturing you until you talk, Naruto warned. Gazu held out as best he could through hours of relentless pain and death, only to be resurrected in the nightmare again and again. Finally, broken, he spilled everything. His orders from Mamachi Zabuza and his employer, Gato, the ruthless shipping magnate and CEO of Gato Corporation. He revealed how Gato exploited Nami no Kuni, terrorizing the land with bandits, and had hired Zabuza to assassinate the bridge builder to prevent the bridge's completion. Gazu ended by saying that now that he and his brother had failed, Zabuza and his apprentice Haku would likely come after them next. Naruto nodded and released Gazu from the genjutsu, returning them to the forest. Back in reality, Team 7, and Tazuna watched as Naruto locked eyes with Gazu. The shinobi screamed in terror and agony before collapsing unconscious. Naruto deactivated his Mangekyou Sharingan and rubbed his eyes as Kurama's chakra healed the strain the Dijutsu had caused. He still marveled at the power of the Mangekyou Sharingan, remembering the day Kurama first awakened it in him. Flashback: Naruto lay asleep after a hard day of training, but suddenly jolted awake, eyes burning fiercely. Kurama, what's happening? Naruto groaned as the pain subsided. Relax, Kit, I'm just upgrading your eyes to the next stage, Kurama replied. The next stage? But didn't you say the Mangekyou Sharingan would cause blindness, unless I had a sibling with the same power to share the burden? That was before I realized I could heal the damage with my chakra, Kurama said proudly. Naruto got up and looked in the mirror, eyes now shaped like a hybrid between a 4-pointed shuriken and a 5-pointed star. Excited, he couldn't wait to explore the new abilities his upgraded Sharingan would grant. End flashback. Kakashi interrupted Naruto's thoughts, asking, "What did you do to him?" "Relax, sensei, I just trapped him in a genjutsu and got the info we needed," Naruto said. "How? You barely looked at him before he passed out," Sakura asked. Naruto shot her an annoyed look. "I told you, it was a genjutsu, now be quiet so I can explain." Sakura nodded nervously. Naruto then relayed everything about Zabuza, Gato, and the dangers looming over Nami no Kuni, how assassins were sent to stop Tazuna from finishing the bridge. Kakashi frowned. This mission just turned into an A rank, especially with Mamachi Zabuza hunting you, Tazuna-san. Tazuna sank to his knees, tears welling. "Please, you have to finish the mission. If I die, Hope dies with me and Gato wins. My daughter and grandson, they'll be lost without me, don't abandon us." "It's not my choice. The team decides," Kakashi said, looking toward the genin. Sakura urged, "I think we should turn back, we're not ready." Sasuke smirked confidently. "I say we push forward. It's a perfect chance to test my strength." Naruto weighed the options silently, seeing mostly benefits. If they pressed on, he could recruit Zabuza and Haku, take over Gato's corporation, set up a safe base in Nami no Kuni, and best of all, stop chasing after a stupid cat. "We can't just leave the old drunk here. We have to keep going," Naruto declared. Kakashi glanced at his genin. Two were determined, one was hesitant. He silently hoped Sakura would prove herself or he'd have to rethink the team. "All right, Team 7, let's continue." After a boat ride to the island, Team 7 headed toward Tazuna's home. As they walked, Naruto sensed movement in the bushes and threw a kunai only to reveal a white rabbit pierced through the head. "Naruto, you idiot, that was an innocent rabbit," Sakura scolded. Ignoring her, Naruto and Kakashi exchanged a glance. "A white rabbit, it's summer, unless it's a pet." "Substitution." Naruto then heard the whistle of a blade cutting through the air. "Everyone, get down," Kakashi shouted, tackling Tazuna to the ground. The others quickly followed suit. A huge cleaver-like sword slammed into a tree nearby. A tall, muscular man with pale skin, spiky black hair, baggy striped pants, and a mask landed on the blade's hilt. Sharingan user Kakashi, I didn't expect to face you, especially leading a team of kids. All I want is the bridge builder. Hand him over and I'll let you all go, Zabuza said. Before Kakashi could answer, Naruto interrupted. Kakashi-sensei, I'll take Zabuza on, you protect the others. You're joking, Naruto. He's an A-rank missing nin, you can't win, Kakashi yelled. Naruto drew his katana. Remember when we sparred, I was holding back then. Without waiting for permission, Naruto charged. Zabuza pulled his sword free from the tree and met Naruto in the clearing. Their blades clashed loudly as they struggled for dominance. Zabuza was surprised Naruto could keep up. Not bad, brat, but you're no match for one of the 7 ninja swordsmen, Zabuza said with a smirk. Naruto smirked back. You're wrong, I'm still holding back. Leaping back, Naruto formed a one-handed seal. His body glowed as he deactivated his gravity seals, vanishing in a blur. Zabuza scanned the area, barely dodging the lightning-fast strikes. Stay still, you damn brat, Zabuza growled, blocking Naruto's quick slashes. Looks like anyone can become a ninja swordsman these days, Naruto taunted. Zabuza shouted in fury and lunged at the blonde, unaware of the kick that sent him crashing into the nearby lake. Standing atop the water with a deadly glare, Zabuza faced Naruto, who simply smirked and stepped forward to confront him on the water's surface. Team 7 and Tazuna watched the battle with stunned expressions, unable to believe that Naruto, a brand-new genin, was holding his own against an A-rank missing nin, and a member of the feared 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist. Kakashi, an experienced ninja, noticed that despite Naruto's impressive strength and skill, he was clearly restraining himself. Sasuke burned with jealousy seeing Naruto's prowess when he believed he was the one who deserved such power to defeat his brother. Meanwhile, Tazuna and Sakura could only watch in amazement at Naruto's abilities. Zabuza and Naruto faced each other, swords drawn, one with a scowl, the other with a confident grin. Zabuza sheathed his blade and began performing hand signs, prompting Naruto to do the same. Water style, water dragon jutsu. The missing nin roared as a dragon-shaped torrent surged from the lake toward Naruto. In response, Naruto formed a shadow clone without a seal, and both began hand signs. The original and the clone completed their seals and unleashed their jutsu. Fire style. Fire dragon jutsu, Naruto shouted, releasing a massive fiery dragon aimed at Zabuza. Wind style, great breakthrough. The shadow clone yelled, taking a deep breath and exhaling a powerful chakra-infused gust. The wind and fire merged, forming a blazing white-hot dragon that overwhelmed the water dragon. The fiery beast charged towards Zabuza relentlessly. Water style. Water wall jutsu, Zabuza called out, conjuring a shield of water that absorbed the fire dragon's assault. With the water dragon halted, Zabuza made a single hand seal, and a dense, chakra-laden fog swept over the battlefield. Kirigakure no jutsu, Zabuza said quietly before vanishing into the mist. There are 8 vital points on the body: heart, kidneys, jugular, liver, spine, lungs, and larynx. Which one shall I pick? Taunted the ex-Miss Jonin. Naruto merely smirked and activated his Mangekyou Sharingan. While a normal Sharingan couldn't pierce the chakra-filled fog, the Mangekyou Sharingan could differentiate between technique and foe. Instantly, Naruto spotted Zabuza sneaking up on him, grinning as he summoned 4 shuriken, infused them with wind chakra, and hurled them. Zabuza dodged the deadly blades and swung his sword at Naruto, but Naruto dodged and kicked him out of the mist. As the fog cleared, Naruto completed a hand seal. Water style, great waterfall jutsu, Naruto called out. A vortex of water erupted around him, forcefully blasting Zabuza away from the lake and into a tree. Naruto appeared before him, kunai in hand, Mangekyou Sharingan still active. Zabuza looked into Naruto's eyes and felt a sudden chill. Who the hell are you? Your executioner, Naruto replied coldly. Suddenly, a senbon needle pierced Zabuza's neck, and his body went limp. A boy no older than 15 landed in the tree, wearing a Kiri Hunter Nin uniform. His voice was soft, almost feminine, but Naruto could tell by his scent he was a boy. The scent also showed he had been close to Zabuza frequently. Naruto realized this was Zabuza's apprentice, Haku. Thank you for defeating Zabuza. I never could have done it alone, Haku said gratefully. Team 7 cautiously approached as Haku lifted Zabuza's body. I will take him away for disposal. You have my gratitude. Naruto kept up his act. No problem, happy to assist. In a swirl of leaves, Haku vanished with Zabuza on his back. Kakashi and Team 7 approached Naruto, who quickly deactivated his Mangekyou Sharingan before anyone noticed. Good work, Naruto. It's rare for a genin to overpower an A-rank jonin, Kakashi said with a smirk, though inwardly he was eager to interrogate the blonde about what else he might be hiding. Sasuke scowled, furious that Naruto wielded such power when he believed it was his right. He needed it to destroy his brother. Sakura watched in both admiration and fear. Internally, she disagreed. Ha! I bet Sasuke-kun is way stronger than that Naruto idiot. Tazuna regarded Naruto with newfound respect. This kid is incredibly powerful. To think he bested someone who unsettled our sensei without breaking a sweat. I'm glad I came to Konoha with this mission. Before Kakashi could ask more, Naruto spoke up. We should keep moving to your home, Tazuna-san, it's getting late. Tazuna nodded, saying his house was just a few minutes down the road. Team 7 and Tazuna walked quietly toward the small home. Naruto, meanwhile, was already planning how to track down the missing nin and his apprentice. If they refused to join him, he'd be forced to kill them to avoid future conflict. Tazuna's house Team 7, and Tazuna reached his modest two-story house. Tazuna opened the door to reveal a sparsely furnished living and dining area. Tsunami, Inari, I'm home, Tazuna called as they entered. A blue-haired woman wearing an apron emerged from the kitchen. Father, it's good to see you again. These are the shinobi protecting me on the journey, Hadate Kakashi, the jonin nodded. Sakura, Sasuke, and Naruto. Sakura bowed slightly, Sasuke grunted, and Naruto, like Kakashi, simply nodded. Tsunami bowed as well and thanked them for safeguarding her father. She invited them to sit while she prepared a meal. Kakashi saw this as the perfect time to question Naruto about his mysterious abilities. So Naruto, how is it you're so skilled yet were last in your class? Kakashi asked. Everyone perked up, eager for his answer. Naruto didn't look up. Kakashi-sensei, we shinobi are trained in deception. Our goal is to fool our enemies. Kakashi nodded and pressed further. Then where did you learn such advanced jutsu? Naruto debated internally. Should I tell them about Kurama or lie? Tell the truth to the Kapanin, but keep it vague for the others, Kurama advised. I learned these techniques from my sensei, who has thousands of years of wisdom and has been with me my entire life, Naruto answered. Everyone except Kakashi looked confused. Kakashi realized Naruto meant the Nine Tails and silently hoped the fox wasn't a negative influence. Sasuke was frustrated and angry that Naruto was so secretive about his teacher. Sasuke wanted to know who taught Naruto so he could steal that power to kill his brother. Damn it! Who the hell are you, Dobi? Sasuke shouted. Naruto understood Sasuke's anger and smirked mentally. Don't worry your pretty little head, Uchiha. Even if you knew who he was, he'd never train you. Why not? Sasuke demanded. Because he hates you and your clan. On the night your family was wiped out, he was celebrating, wanting to shake hands with whoever did it, Naruto replied smugly. Sasuke was furious. No one talked about his clan's fate without risking his wrath. Kakashi was about to intervene, but Sasuke lunged at Naruto across the table. I'll kill you, Sasuke yelled, reaching for Naruto's throat. But he was too slow. Naruto drew his katana and pressed the blade to Sasuke's neck. Sasuke immediately stopped to avoid decapitation. Tusk, Uchiha, you know attacking a fellow Konoha ninja is punishable by death, though I doubt it would happen. You're too busy being the council's favorite toy. They wouldn't like losing their pet, but I wouldn't mind killing you. I don't care about their rules, you're weak, don't even have your precious bloodline, yet still cling to the arrogance that doomed your clan, Naruto said with a wicked smile. Enough, Naruto, Sasuke, Kakashi warned, stepping between them. Stop this nonsense or I'll file a disciplinary report for both of you. Sasuke glared at Naruto before retreating to a corner to brood, followed by Sakura like a shadow. Naruto smirked at the Uchiha as he moved to the room's other side. Everyone else sighed in relief that the tension eased, only for it to rise again when Tsunami served the meal. Sasuke shot glares at Naruto while eating. Naruto ignored him. Suddenly, the front door opened and an 8-year-old boy entered. Tazuna was the first to greet him. Inari-kun, good to see you again. The boy named Inari ran up and hugged his grandfather. Jiji, I missed you. Then he looked at the Konoha ninja. These are the shinobi from Konoha. They're here to protect me while I finish the bridge, Tazuna explained with a smile. Inari frowned. Why are they here? They'll just get killed. Gato is too strong. Inari, that was rude, apologize, Tsunami scolded. Ignoring her, Inari dashed upstairs to his room to sulk, just like a certain Uchiha. Hey Uchiha, if he broods as much as you do, I think we've found your long-lost brother, Naruto teased, poking fun at Sasuke. Everyone chuckled except Sasuke and Sakura. Sasuke then retreated back into his usual moody silence, with Sakura sitting quietly beside him. Kakashi-sensei, what are we supposed to do now that Zabuza is out of the picture? Sakura asked. Kakashi stared thoughtfully at the ceiling. Zabuza isn't really dead. He's still alive. I just realized something, that Hunter Nin was probably a fake. Normally, Hunter Nin destroy the bodies of missing Nin immediately, but he took Zabuza's body away. Plus, he attacked Zabuza with Senbon needles, and Hunter Nin don't usually use those unless they want the target alive. So, does that mean he'll be back soon? Naruto questioned. No, I figure he'll return in about a week. The injuries he suffered during your fight will need time to heal. So, for the next week, we'll focus on training to get stronger, Kakashi explained. After dinner, Tsunami guided them upstairs to the rooms where they would sleep. The next morning, following breakfast, Kakashi led the group to a clearing in the forest to begin their training. What kind of training will we be doing, Kakashi-sensei? Sakura asked, curious. We're going to learn how to climb trees without using our hands, Kakashi announced with a teasing smirk. Naruto groaned and started walking away, while Sasuke and Sakura exchanged puzzled glances. Kakashi wiped sweat from his forehead as Naruto left. Naruto, where are you headed? Naruto shot him an annoyed glance. I've already mastered that, don't you remember? I walked on water yesterday during the fight with Zabuza. Oh, I wanted to ask, how did you do that? Sakura inquired. I'm not in the mood to explain. Listen to Kakashi, he's about to teach you the first step, Naruto said before leaving to avoid further questions. Once Naruto was far enough away, he bit his thumb and smeared blood on his summoning tattoo. Kuchios no Jutsu, he said calmly. A small gray fox appeared in a puff of smoke. Good evening, Naruto-sama. How may I assist you? The fox asked politely. I need you to track someone, Kuru, Naruto replied, holding up a bloodied cloth. This blood is from the person I want you to find. I got it during the battle yesterday. Very well, Naruto-sama. I will do my best to track them, Kuru responded, sniffing the cloth before darting off in the direction of the scent. Gato's hideout. Naruto concealed himself in a tree, overlooking what appeared to be a hideout. Around 100 bandits guarded the area, surrounded by a chain-link fence. The building itself was large and tall. Clearly, the architect had no concept of hidden. Naruto knew the bandits were no match for him, but he wanted to confirm Gato's presence before storming the place and taking everyone out. Deciding to sneak inside, Naruto prepared to verify if Gato or Zabuza was there. If not, he'd have to wait outside until they appeared. Naruto formed quick hand signs and whispered, Chameleon Jutsu. His body shimmered with refracted light, becoming nearly invisible as long as he kept his distance. He slipped past the bandits guarding the entrance and searched room by room, until he heard shouting. Peeking inside, he saw a short man in a black suit berating Zabuza and the fake Hunter Nin for their failed mission. Naruto slipped into a corner, waiting for the right moment to speak with the missing Nin. Inside Gato's hideout, Zabuza lay on a bed, exhausted and nursing a bruised ego. How could the demon of the mist have been defeated by a genin? The kid must have been either incredibly talented or incredibly lucky. Zabuza vowed that the next time they met, he wouldn't hold back and would stop only once the kid's head was in his hands. As Zabuza brooded on his vengeance, Haku watched him with concern. To Zabuza, Haku was merely a tool to be used and discarded. But to Haku, Zabuza was everything, worth sacrificing his life for. Haku worried about Zabuza. Naruto's final jutsu had inflicted serious damage, and the near-death trauma had only prolonged his recovery. He needed to leave soon to gather herbs and medicines to speed up the healing, so Zabuza would be at full strength when facing the Konoha team. Their thoughts were interrupted by the arrival of a short man in a black suit and sunglasses, walking with a cane, and flanked by two sword-wielding bandits. Zabuza and Haku snapped their attention toward him, sensing his anger but uncertain why. How could you fail? I paid you a fortune to kill the bridge builder, Gato shouted furiously. Gato approached Zabuza. Looks like I wasted my money hiring you. Just because you're called the demon of the mist doesn't mean you're worth it. Next time you fail me, I won't pay, and I'll tell the real Hunter Nin where to find you. Gato and his guards left, leaving Zabuza and Haku alone. Why do we work for them, Zabuza-sama? Haku asked. Because we need the funds to finance another coup against the Mizukage. The 3 million ryo they pay is more than enough to kill a bridge builder, Zabuza replied. Suddenly, both tensed at a voice in the room. Tusk, 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 is this the mighty demon of the mist reduced to a lowly missing nin killing civilians for weak businessmen? Who's there? Show yourself, Zabuza demanded. Naruto stepped out of the shadows, standing before Zabuza. Haku quickly placed himself between Naruto and his master, drawing senbon needles and preparing to fight. Naruto raised his hands in peace, smirking at their tension. Relax, I'm not here to fight. I have an offer that could get you out of this mess. What kind of offer? Zabuza asked, hand on his Kubikirabacho. The chance to make your dream a reality, and 3 times what Gato offered, Naruto replied with a grin. Zabuza stared, disbelief written on his face. How can you help me? And how can you afford 15 million ryo? Maybe I should start with my name. I'm Uzumaki Namikaze Naruto, heir to the Uzumaki and Namikaze clans in Konoha. I'm probably richer than Gato right now, Naruto said, causing Zabuza and Haku to widen their eyes. As for your dream, it's simple. I can fight Yagura because, like him, I'm a Jinchuriki. I hold the Kyuubi, the strongest of the Biju. If they hadn't been shocked before, they definitely were now, standing with wide eyes and dropped jaws. Suppose we accept your offer. What do you want us to do? Zabuza asked. I'm gathering allies to destroy Konoha. You won't have to do anything until I have enough strength to take the village down, Naruto answered. You want to destroy Konoha? Isn't that your home? Haku questioned. A dark aura radiated from Naruto. No, Konoha was never my home. It was a living nightmare most of my life. I swore that one day, I would walk its streets while the village burned and the people screamed. Zabuza and Haku shivered at the malevolent aura. Unlike Zabuza, who wanted to take over his village, Naruto wanted to utterly destroy his. Can we think about it before deciding? Zabuza asked. Fine, in 1 week come to the bridge. After putting on a show for my team, go to these coordinates. Naruto tossed them a map of Nami no Kuni with an area circled. You can give me your answer there. What's at the location? Haku asked. A safe house I'm building during the week. It should be ready by the time our fight ends, Naruto replied. Zabuza and Haku nodded, and Naruto vanished in a swirl of leaves. Zabuza considered the offer carefully. They had nothing to lose and much to gain if Naruto kept his word. Haku, however, sensed pure evil in Naruto, far more than Zabuza. He knew Naruto would discard them once he outlived their usefulness, but decided not to tell Zabuza, reasoning that if Zabuza was happy, then he was too. The following morning when Naruto returned late the night before, he found everyone already asleep. Quietly, he slipped inside and went straight to bed. He suspected Kakashi would ask questions in the morning, but he wasn't concerned. At dawn, Naruto woke early and quickly got dressed to avoid Kakashi at breakfast, hoping to dodge any interrogation. His luck ran out when he came downstairs and saw Kakashi sitting at the dining table. Except this time, instead of reading his book, his expression was completely serious. Naruto, where were you last night? Kakashi asked. Just training, Kakashi-sensei, Naruto replied casually. If you were training, why couldn't I find you when I looked for you? Kakashi pressed. Naruto's patience thinned. I was working on my fire jutsu. You didn't find me because I was practicing stealth techniques to hide my presence. All right then, where are you headed now? I'm going to keep training. Clearly, you need to focus on the others so they don't slow you down, Naruto said as he headed for the door. I wasn't finished talking, Genin. I want you to accompany Tazuna-san and protect him while he constructs the bridge, Kakashi ordered. Fine, I'll be back in an hour to escort Tazuna-san, Naruto answered, then vanished in a swirl of leaves before Kakashi could respond. Naruto appeared deep in the woods, far from the house. He unsealed paper, ink, and a brush. Time to test my new blood clone, he thought. He began drawing an intricate sealing circle. When finished, he cut his palm to draw blood, infused it with chakra, and pressed his hands firmly onto the paper. A brilliant light filled the area, and when it faded, a perfect copy of Naruto stood where the paper had been. Pleased with his clever jutsu, Naruto considered the advantages of a blood clone over a shadow clone. Blood clones didn't vanish after a single hit, they only disappeared if fatally wounded. They also generated and replenished their own chakra, useful for extended missions. The downside was that when a blood clone dissipated after a long time, all its memories would return to the original. To prevent this, Naruto embedded a data-blocking seal within the technique, so he wouldn't receive the clone's experiences. He ordered the clone to protect Tazuna and obey Kakashi to avoid suspicion. Naruto knew he probably wouldn't see Kakashi or his team during the week since they'd be occupied with building the safe house. The clone left, and Naruto set off toward the safe house site. After running 10 miles across the southern edge of Nami no Kuni, he arrived at the island's border. He immediately began his work, summoning 50 shadow clones to assist. Using earth manipulation, he carved a staircase descending a mile underground. Half the clones tunneled halls and chambers, while the other half shaped wooden supports and crafted furnishings. Naruto planned the safe house large enough to shelter a considerable force. If his scheme succeeded, he'd have many allies. The day before the battle time passed quickly as Naruto worked on the safe house. The next day was his duel with Zabuza. He surveyed the hideout proudly. It could hold 500 people across multiple levels. Climbing the main stairway, he opened a trapdoor leading to a simple shack and sealed it with a blood lock, ensuring only those with familiar blood could open it. Naruto then went to a clearing nearby and waited for his blood clone to return. When it arrived, it recounted the week's events. Naruto frowned as he listened. Kakashi had monitored him relentlessly, granting almost no privacy. Added to that was Sasuke's arrogance and Sakura's infatuation. He was glad his clone had been in his place. Unnoticed, two eyes observed them from afar, one dark, the other blood red with 3 swirling tamo. Kakashi, spying with his Sharingan, read their lips. The clone was summarizing the week. He wondered what Naruto had been up to and how the clone lasted so long without vanishing. During Naruto's spar with Sasuke, a normal shadow clone would have dispersed after a single strong hit. As he pondered, the clone finished and dissipated, not into smoke, but a pool of blood with a seal floating within. Naruto was clever enough to burn the seal before leaving, but Kakashi had memorized the sealing formula with his Sharingan. He returned home and sat down with his book, hoping to avoid dealing with Naruto's secrets for a while. At the bridge, Kakashi and Team 7 approached the bridge, expecting Zabuza to try killing Tazuna again today. Upon arrival, they sensed the familiar chakra-laced mist. The bridge workers lay unconscious or wounded with marks resembling electric burns. "What happened here?" a frightened Tazuna asked. One worker still conscious said, monsters attacked." Team 7 readied themselves. Naruto drew his katana, Kakashi activated his Sharingan, and Sasuke and Sakura readied kunai. The mist cleared, revealing 3 figures. 2 were the familiar Zabuza and Haku, while the third was unknown to Naruto until Kakashi spoke. "Zabuza, I see you brought your fake hunter nin friend and a guest. Or should I say, Rokusho AI, an A-rank missing nin from Konoha," Kakashi said. Naruto recalled his bingo book entry. AI had abandoned the village, stolen a vital scroll, and the second Hokage's Raijin no Ken. He fought off Anbu after ambushes and captured Morino Ibiki for interrogation. Ibiki escaped with the scroll, while AI fled with the Raijin and later joined Hidden Rain as a Jonin. Naruto considered recruiting him but decided against it. AI's rank relied on the Raijin's sword. Without it, he was only Chunin level. "That's right, and you're blocking my profits. Hand over the bridge builder and we might spare your lives," AI threatened. "We won't give up Tazuna-san, but we'll take your head and the Raijin back to Konoha," Kakashi replied. "Naruto, take Zabuza. I think you can beat him. Sasuke, handle the fake hunter nin. I'll take AI. Sakura, protect Tazuna-san," Kakashi commanded. Sasuke scowled that Naruto faced the stronger opponent while he got an underling but nodded. Naruto charged at Zabuza, Kakashi faced AI, Sasuke confronted Haku. "Naruto versus Zabuza, well Zabuza, I hope you've come up with an answer. But let's spar so I can see what I'm paying for," Naruto said with a grin. Zabuza nodded, drawing his Kubikirabacho. Naruto unsheathed his Ryazaburito. The two clashed swords, metal ringing and sparks flying as they fought for control. Zabuza had strength, but Naruto relied on speed and agility. Naruto dodged and countered Zabuza's strikes. He gained the upper hand by channeling wind chakra to sharpen his blade, cutting into Zabuza's sword. The Kirinin's eyes widened as he stepped back. Naruto switched to ninjutsu, forming hand signs, Zabuza followed, showing his advantage now was jutsu. Zabuza was first. Water style, water dragon jutsu. Fire style. Fireball jutsu, Naruto countered with a massive fireball. The two attacks cancelled out. Naruto dashed behind Zabuza and launched his technique. Wind style, drilling air bullet. 4 air bullets fired. 2 struck Zabuza, but he dissolved into water. Water clone clever, Naruto thought. Zabuza struck from behind. Water style, wild water wave. Naruto dodged and countered. Fire style. Burning ash. He expelled chakra-infused gunpowder from his lungs at Zabuza. The Kirinin tried to evade, but was scorched as Naruto clicked his teeth, igniting the ash. Naruto stepped forward, katana at Zabuza's throat, only for him to dissolve into water again. Naruto smirked, glad Zabuza was a worthy opponent. Zabuza sprinted up from behind and launched into another Kenjutsu attack. He had considered using the hidden mist technique, but quickly dismissed the idea, recalling the last time he'd relied on it. He remembered that when he got close enough, he caught sight of the blonde's eyes of blood red with a strange star-like pattern within them. It resembled Kakashi's Sharingan, except for the star. He wondered if it was some upgraded variation of the Sharingan. He also recalled how the blonde effortlessly dodged his strikes, almost as if he could see right through the mist. His thoughts were interrupted when Naruto put some space between them and formed a clone. Zabuza didn't like how things were unfolding. Both he and Naruto began performing hand signs. Fire style. Fire dragon technique, Naruto shouted, exhaling a massive fire dragon. Wind style, great gale, the clone called out, releasing a strong gust of wind. The fire and wind combined, greatly amplifying the wind's strength. Zabuza widened his eyes and completed his own hand signs, hoping to halt the incoming assault. He summoned all his remaining chakra and shouted, water style, water wall technique. A towering wall of water surged forth from Zabuza, barely holding back the combined attack. Exhausted and drained of chakra, he sank to his knees, panting heavily. Naruto approached and handed him a soldier pill to restore his chakra. You'll need this for when you make your getaway, Naruto said. Zabuza nodded, swallowing the pill. He glanced around at the destruction he and Naruto had caused, then lay down to recover some of the energy he'd lost fighting the blonde. Kakashi vs. AI. Kakashi and AI faced off, standing several feet apart. AI drew and activated his Raijin sword, while Kakashi began forming hand signs. Kakashi knew he couldn't engage AI at close range with that weapon. Water style, water dragon technique, Kakashi shouted as a giant water dragon surged from the ocean, aiming for AI. AI jumped back, narrowly avoiding the attack. Realizing Kakashi wouldn't let him get close with the sword, AI switched tactics, performing his own hand signs. He tossed one of his umbrellas into the air where it hovered, then declared, ninja art. Raining needle death. Suddenly, the umbrella unleashed a barrage of needles toward Kakashi. Kakashi completed his hand signs just before the needles struck and summoned an earth style. Mud wall. A huge mud barrier erupted from the ground, shielding Kakashi from harm. Taking advantage of this moment, AI charged in for close combat where his sword gave him the edge. But when he peeked behind the wall, Kakashi was gone. Time to finish this, Kakashi declared. He performed a few quick hand signs, then clasped his right arm with his left hand. Lightning crackled wildly around his palm. AI lunged forward to sever Kakashi before the jutsu could fully charge. Reikiri, Kakashi shouted, thrusting his palm toward AI's chest with the intent to pierce. Both warriors charged, each weapon of lightning meeting with deadly intent. Time seemed to slow as they neared, the only sound the tearing of flesh. AI looked down to see Kakashi's Reikiri had sliced through the Raijin blade and pierced his heart. He dropped to his knees as Kakashi withdrew his hand. How? AI stammered. Kakashi met his gaze. Reikiri is my strongest jutsu. It once cut through a bolt of lightning itself. Your Raijin blade was no match. You lost, now die like the coward you are. AI's life faded after hearing those words, his eyes flickering before going dark forever. Kakashi pulled his Hayate back over his Sharingan and glanced toward the other fights. He saw Zabuza lying on the ground, Naruto not far away. Closer inspection revealed Zabuza was still breathing. Kakashi doubted Naruto would let an opponent live, especially considering what had happened to the demon brothers. Then his attention shifted to Sasuke's match. Sasuke was trapped inside a dome of ice, his body pierced with senbon needles. Just as Kakashi moved to intervene, the dome collapsed, leaving Sasuke prone on the ground. No need to describe the battle between Sasuke and Haku, you all know how badly Haku overwhelms Sasuke. Suddenly, applause broke out, and everyone turned to see the source. Gato appeared, accompanied by at least 200 bandits. Well, 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 looks like you failed again, Zabuza. I knew you'd lose, and to the same kid as before. You really are weak, Gato mocked. Gato, what are you doing here? An angry Zabuza demanded, standing up. I'm here to make some money. Hiring missing nin is pricey. So instead of paying you, I hired some cheap bandits to kill you after you took out the bridge builder and the other ninja. Then I'd collect the bounty on your head, and anyone else worth something, and get richer, Gato explained. You traitor, I'll kill you, Gato, Zabuza shouted, stepping forward. I don't think so. You might want to rethink coming quietly, Gato said with a sinister smile. Snapping his fingers, two bandits emerged from the group holding tied up Tsunami and Inari. Tsunami-chan, Inari-kun, Tazuna cried out in fear. Now, Tazuna, tell the ninjas to stand down and surrender, or your family dies, Gato threatened. Tazuna hesitated, about to comply, but Naruto raised his hand to stop him. Don't. Even if you do what he says, he'll still kill them. Then what should I do? Tazuna asked desperately. Don't worry. I'll get them back, Naruto said, forming a hand seal. His body glowed as the gravity seals deactivated. In a burst of speed, he struck the bandits holding Tazuna's family, kicking them aside and grabbing Inari and Tsunami before they could react. He handed them to Tazuna, then faced the remaining bandits. Outwardly, Naruto's face was calm and expressionless, but inside, his bloodlust raged, begging to be unleashed, to slaughter these bandits just for the thrill, to drown in their blood. Kurama only encouraged these dark desires. Gato scowled, realizing he'd lost his leverage over Tazuna. He turned to his hired bandits. Kill them all. Whoever brings me the head of Zabuza or that blonde kid gets a bonus, Gato ordered. The bandits cheered and advanced. They stopped in terror at Naruto's approach. Everyone tensed, sensing the overwhelming killing intent radiating from him. Naruto chuckled darkly, the sound growing into a chilling, sinister laugh that sent shivers down everyone's spines. Naruto had unleashed his bloodlust. His eyes shifted from blue to crimson slits. His nails became claws, fangs lengthened, and his whisker marks darkened. A red chakra cloak with two tails enveloped him. Usually, only one tail appeared during bloodlust, but suppressing it for over 2 months had intensified it. Now fully unleashed, it surged with brutal power. Everyone behind Naruto trembled in fear, except for Sasuke, who was unconscious. Is the seal breaking? No, the chakra seems controlled. Naruto is harnessing the Kyuubi's chakra, but why use it to slaughter bandits? Kakashi wondered. Damn, the kid's right. He's like Yagura. But this chakra is far more evil and powerful than what Yagura wielded, thought Zabuza. What is this power? I've never felt anything like it before. He said he was a Jinchuriki, so this must be the Kyuubi's power. I don't like it, but if it helps Zabuza-sama reach his dream, I won't complain, Haku mused. Naruto vanished in a flash of speed and began decimating the bandits. They screamed in agony and horror as they were cut down with ease. Gato watched helplessly as his army was wiped out within minutes by a single blonde teen. After 5 minutes, the bridge was littered with torn bodies and the stench of burnt flesh. Only one pale Gato remained. Naruto approached, his red chakra cloak fading. Gato collapsed, backing away in terror. Please don't kill me. I'll give you anything, money, women, power, just spare me, Gato begged. Where's all that talk about killing us and collecting our heads? Though I should have expected big talk from a little man, Naruto smirked, seeing Gato flush with anger. Naruto decided to end it. Well, Gato, it's been nice knowing you, but like I always say, it's just business. He drew his katana and with one smooth motion, severed Gato's head, then lifted it up. Naruto returned to the others, inwardly grinning at the fear reflected in their eyes and expressions. He then approached Tazuna and handed him Gato's severed head. Here you go, Tazuna-san, proof that your land is finally free from Gato's iron rule, Naruto declared. Tazuna snapped out of his shock, and the recent events flooded back to him, prompting a joyful leap. Tsunami and Inari also had tears of happiness as they rejoiced over Gato's defeat and the liberation of Wave. Meanwhile, Team 7 and a newly awakened Sasuke watched on. Sasuke had regained consciousness, just in time to witness Naruto mercilessly annihilate the bandits while cloaked in chakra. They looked at their teammate with fear, while Kakashi observed Naruto with concern. Kakashi wondered whether the Nine-Tails' influence had driven Naruto to slaughter the bandits so ruthlessly, or if it was Naruto's own choice. Either way, if Naruto was being controlled or acting on his own accord, Kakashi knew he had to intervene before things escalated. Amid the chaos, no one noticed Zabuza and Haku slipping away and heading toward the safe house to accept Naruto's offer. The next day, Tazuna and his family spread the word that Gato was dead and Wave was free. The entire town celebrated with a grand festival honoring the ninjas who had helped overthrow Gato. Team 7 joined the festivities. Naruto devoured food, Sasuke brooded silently, Sakura nervously asked Sasuke out, and Kakashi sipped sake while keeping a vigilant eye on Naruto. What Kakashi didn't realize was that the Naruto he watched was actually a blood clone. The real Naruto was inside Gato's office, rifling through his files and possessions. He had already uncovered bank records from across the elemental nations totaling over 1 billion ryo. Though he initially underestimated Gato's wealth, Naruto now knew he was far richer. His next step was to locate Gato's checkbook and a sample of his signature so he could forge checks and use blood clones disguised as Gato to drain the accounts before anyone learned of Gato's death. After 10 minutes of searching and frustration, Naruto kicked the desk. The impact triggered a secret compartment to open, revealing exactly what he needed: Gato's checkbook and signed checks. Inside were also deeds to properties scattered throughout every country on the continent. Grinning at his luck, Naruto got to work. He created 6 blood clone seals, assigning each clone a bank location and stressing the importance of finishing by the week's end to avoid the accounts being seized by the government. He ordered that once the funds were collected, they should be stored inside a scroll, which a fox would deliver to him personally. The clones dispersed to their missions, and Naruto settled into Gato's office chair, pondering his next move. He was certain Kakashi would report his violent outburst to the Hokage, who would then inform the council. That would lead to the usual fallout: civilians demanding his execution, Danzo seeking to use him as a weapon, and the shinobi leadership caught in conflict. Though this time, it might push more support toward Danzo's faction. Naruto considered this carefully, but resolved to face the consequences when they arrived. He returned quietly to Tazuna's home, avoiding the town's party since he disliked such gatherings and didn't want to risk being seen alongside his clone. 1 week later, Naruto sighed in relief. The mission was finally over, and they were heading back to Konoha. He didn't exactly miss the village, but he had left his shadow clones researching at his estate with just enough chakra to last a week. This time, he planned to upgrade his research team to blood clones to avoid similar issues. As Team 7 waved goodbye, mostly Sakura and Kakashi, everyone in Wave gathered at the bridge to bid farewell to their heroes. After heartfelt goodbyes, Team 7 set off toward Konoha. "Hey, I just thought of something. What should we name this bridge?" asked an inquisitive Tsunami. "How about the Great Naruto Bridge? He freed us from Gato and gave us hope again." Tazuna replied, clearly happy. Everyone around nodded in agreement. Meanwhile, Naruto felt a chill run down his spine, a strange sensation that he was acting out of character. Shrugging it off, he continued toward the grim future he planned to burn through. 3 months later, in the 3 months since the Nami no Kuni mission, Naruto had been struggling. He was forced back onto D-rank missions, with occasional C-rank assignments. He now stood in his backyard training ground before a 3-pronged kunai etched with a seal. Similar kunai were scattered across the field, each surrounded by Naruto's clones. Naruto was excited because just days earlier, his research clones had finally deciphered the mechanics of the Hurricane technique. Now he was ready to test it. With a yellow flash, he vanished and reappeared beside the first Hurricane kunai as the clones vanished. Thus, the second yellow flash was born. Naruto knew he'd have to practice the Hurricane technique more, since he'd only used it 3 times over short distances, and it consumed about a quarter of his chakra reserves. His thoughts drifted back to his return from Nami no Kuni and his suspicion that Kakashi had informed the Hokage, who in turn had notified the council. Flashback: Naruto was enjoying a bowl at Ikaraku Ramen when an ANBU interrupted and summoned him to the council. Leaving with the ANBU, Naruto vanished in a swirl of leaves and soon stood before the council chamber's doors. Inside, the third Hokage sat smoking his pipe, greeting Naruto warmly. Naruto noticed the hostile stares from the civilian council and the stoic faces of clan leaders and Danzo. "Hello, Naruto, glad you came," Sarutobi said kindly. "Good evening, Hokage-sama. May I ask the reason for my summons?" Naruto replied coldly. "We've heard from your sensei that you may have lost control of your tailed beast during your mission. Is that true?" Sarutobi asked. "No, Hokage-sama, I did not lose control." Naruto was cut off by a shrill voice. "Liar, you slaughtered every bandit in your path and nearly killed my daughter," Haruno Sakura shouted. Naruto exuded a threatening aura, and she sat down sharply. "Don't interrupt me. I said I didn't lose control because I was fully aware of my beast's power and stopped using it once the threat was eliminated." Turning to Sakura, he added, "Also, I wouldn't waste time killing a weakling like your daughter." The civilian council erupted in outrage, demanding punishment for his disrespect. Sarutobi quieted the room and said, "Naruto, you must show the council proper respect." "I'll respect them, Hokage-sama. I already respect the clan heads, but I won't respect the civilians until they prove they're more than useless fools." The civilians raged until Sarutobi silenced them again. Narashikaku then asked, "How much control do you have over your beast?" "I can currently control up to 4 tails due to my body's durability. I estimate that by 16, I'll master all 9 tails and control my beast completely," Naruto replied. The council's reactions were mixed. Clan heads worried, Danzo plotting, civilians terrified of his potential. After tense moments, Sarutobi dismissed them. Naruto left with a satisfied smirk. Naruto then returned to his training ground, where 200 shadow clones attempted to combine the Rasengan with his wind and fire chakra. Suddenly, 2 large explosions erupted in the distance. He received the memories of the destroyed clones. One explosion was the Rasengan infused with wind chakra, the other with fire. Dispelling his clones, Naruto created a new one and formed a Rasengan with added wind chakra, which morphed into a large, screaming shuriken-like shape. Once Naruto completed the new Rasengan, he held it up and quickly realized the technique was unstable. His chakra control wasn't refined enough yet. He attempted to toss it, but the jutsu fizzled the moment it left his hand. To maintain control over the Rasengan, he would have to drastically improve his chakra precision, and he'd also need to figure out how to launch it properly. Otherwise, charging at an opponent risked injuring himself from the blast. Moving on, Naruto focused on another technique. He formed a Rasengan with one hand while a clone infused it with fire chakra. The intense heat radiating from the jutsu was excruciating, making it difficult for him to ignore the pain. When it finished, a swirling orb of white flames spun in his palm. He winced as the flames seared his arm, then through the jutsu. Unfortunately, it didn't dissipate harmlessly, it exploded the moment it left his hand. Naruto was blasted backward into a tree, hitting his head and losing consciousness. Hours later, Naruto came to with a pounding headache. He stood, then headed home to rest, knowing he'd need all his strength for tomorrow. Next day, Naruto was walking toward the meeting spot, where he and his teammates were supposed to meet their sensei. As he walked, he glanced at his severely injured arm. The damage was so bad that Kurama was taking a long time to heal it. The jutsu had literally cooked his arm down to the bone, and the explosion had nearly destroyed it completely. Kurama was working feverishly to restore the arm's function, but it took all night just to repair the damage. Reconnecting the nerve endings and chakra channels would take at least another day. Suddenly, Naruto heard a commotion on a nearby street and decided to check it out. He saw a boy a bit older than him, wearing pajamas with cat ears and face paint, gripping a younger kid with spiky hair and a long scarf by the throat. Behind the aggressor stood a blonde girl with 4 ponytails, holding a giant fan. Opposite them were 2 kids about the same age as the victim, and Naruto's teammate, Haruno Sakura. "Kankuro, stop. You'll just make him angrier," the blonde girl warned. "Relax, Temari, I don't sense him using his chakra yet, and this brat needs to learn some manners," Kankuro snapped back. "Let me go," shouted Konohamaru. "Please, let Konohamaru go. He didn't mean to bump into you," pleaded Sakura. Naruto watched as Kankuro raised his fist to strike Konohamaru, but suddenly a rock hit Kankuro's hand, making him release the boy. Naruto looked up to see none other than Konoha's #1 emo, Uchiha Sasuke, perched coolly in a tree. Behind Sasuke was a young redhead, skillfully hiding his presence. "What do you think you're doing, brat?" Kankuro yelled, nursing his injured hand. Just watching some backwater ninja pick on little kids, Sasuke replied with a smirk. Naruto noticed Kankuro's face flush with anger and Temari blush at Sasuke's presence. He raised an eyebrow at Temari's reaction. Is every girl in the world into emos? Naruto wondered. I wonder what I'd look like emo. Careful what you wish for, Kit, Kurama warned, sending images of Naruto dressed in dark clothes, brooding in a corner, surrounded by adoring fans. Naruto shivered at the thought, shook his head, and turned back to the scene. Furious at being shown up by a kid, Kankuro pulled out a wrapped object from behind him. You're seriously going to use Crow for this? Temari asked, surprised. Before Kankuro could answer, the redhead stepped forward. Kankuro, stop, you're embarrassing our village, he said flatly. Everyone stared in shock at the sudden appearance. Naruto crept closer, activating his chameleon jutsu to blend behind Sakura. As he neared, he noticed something strange about the redhead's chakra. Kit, I can sense Shukaku inside him. He's Suna's Jinchuriki, Kurama whispered. Interesting, if I can sense Shukaku, shouldn't he sense you? Naruto asked. No, your Mokutan bloodline prevents my chakra from leaking out unless I allow it, Kurama explained. Naruto nodded silently and watched the redhead with renewed interest. He guessed the boy was mistreated in Suna and decided he could use that to his advantage. Gee Gaara, I was just trying to teach this punk a lesson, Kankuro stammered fearfully. Quiet or I'll kill you, Gaara said emotionlessly. Kankuro shut up as Gaara led them away. Sasuke jumped down from the tree and landed in front of the group. Wait, what's your name? Sasuke asked Gaara. I am Sabaku no Gaara. And I'm curious about your name, Gaara replied. My name is Uchiha, Sasuke started, but Gaara interrupted. Not you, the one behind the pink-haired girl. Usually no one can detect me when I'm using this jutsu, Naruto said, deactivating his chameleon jutsu and stepping out from behind Sakura, who jumped back startled. My name is Uzumaki Namikaze, Naruto. I assume you're here for the Chunin exams? Naruto asked. Yes, my sibling and I will take part. Will you be competing too? Gaara replied. Of course. I look forward to seeing whether 1 or 9 wins, Naruto said, releasing a small amount of Kurama's chakra. Gaara's eyes widened as he realized Naruto was a Jinchuriki like himself. Temari and Kankuro also looked shocked, worried that Naruto's presence might ruin their plans. I look forward to defeating you and proving my worth in the exams, Gaara said before vanishing in a swirl of sand with his siblings. Sasuke was furious. He had found someone strong enough to challenge him, but they were more interested in Naruto. Why would anyone care to fight a mere dobi? He was an Uchiha. The sand ninja should fear him, yet they ignored him. Sasuke's pride wouldn't allow it. The next time he saw the red-headed sand shinobi, he planned to kill him. Sakura was silent, not out of fear, but puzzlement. Naruto had called himself Namikaze Uzumaki Naruto. Though physically weak, Sakura was sharp academically and knew that Namikaze was the name of the 4th Hokage. She realized Naruto was claiming that name. Naruto, why did you say Namikaze? Sakura asked. Well, Sakura, when introducing yourself, you usually say your full name, Naruto replied sarcastically. Don't let him talk down to you, show him. Inner Sakura urged. Normally she obeyed Inner Sakura, but she had learned never to do so with Naruto. He would end up hurting her. I mean, why would you call yourself Namikaze if the only Namikaze was the 4th Hokage? You know, Haruno, for someone considered top Kunoichi, you sure are dense. I call myself Namikaze because my father was the 4th Hokage, Naruto said dismissively. Sakura was stunned. She couldn't believe Naruto was the Hokage's son. Looking closer, she noticed his resemblance to the 4th and scolded herself for not noticing sooner. Sasuke, on the other hand, didn't care. The Namikaze were nothing compared to the Uchiha. Naruto decided he was done with questions and vanished in a swirl of leaves, heading to the meeting place. Sasuke and Sakura followed, Sasuke silent and Sakura nervously asking for a date. Meeting place after 2 hours waiting on a bridge. Sasuke and Sakura were bored out of their minds, while Naruto kept busy reading a book on advanced sealing techniques. Kakashi appeared in a puff of smoke, his trademark eye smile visible. Yo, Kakashi greeted. You're late, Sakura shouted. Sorry, I crossed paths with a black cat and had to take a detour, Kakashi said, causing everyone to sweat nervously. Anyway, here are the forms for the Chunin exams. If you want to participate, show up tomorrow at the academy in room 301, Kakashi explained. Everyone took a form, and Kakashi vanished in smoke. Sasuke smirked arrogantly at his form and left. Sakura looked worried as she followed him. Naruto appeared outwardly annoyed but was secretly grinning. Next day Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura walked through the academy halls and noticed a crowd gathered by a door. Naruto quickly realized there was a genjutsu over the sign to confuse applicants, guarded by two chunin disguised as genin. He wanted to walk past, knowing the genjutsu was meant to block unworthy genin. Sasuke, smirking arrogantly, approached the crowd. Naruto quickly grabbed Sasuke's mouth before he could reveal the genjutsu. Uchiha, what are you doing? Don't you realize that genjutsu is there to keep the weaker teams out? Naruto whispered. Sasuke pushed Naruto's hand away. Of course I know, Dobi. What do you think I am, an idiot? Well, it doesn't seem like it, Naruto muttered as he strode past the crowd toward the stairs, Sakura following him with a puzzled look and Sasuke scowling behind. On their way to the assigned room, a boy about a year older than them blocked their path, clad in a green jumpsuit and orange leg warmers. Wait up, are you Uchiha Sasuke? The boy asked. Yeah, what's it to you? Sasuke replied arrogantly. I want to battle you and show that sheer effort can surpass natural talent, Lee said eagerly. Fine, but you'll just end up like all the other failures in this exam, Sasuke replied with a smirk. Hey Uchiha, don't underestimate this guy, Naruto said, though he didn't really care if Sasuke got hurt. Ignoring Naruto, Sasuke took his signature Uchiha stance, while Lee readied himself in his Goken position. Sasuke launched a roundhouse kick, but Lee blocked it effortlessly. Lee then counterattacked with a rapid flurry of punches and kicks Sasuke struggled to defend against. Sasuke leapt back and activated his Sharingan to better anticipate Lee's movements. So this is the legendary Sharingan? Lee asked. Exactly. With these eyes you stand no chance. You might as well surrender, Sasuke said with cocky confidence. No way, I'll beat you and prove I can become a great shinobi, Lee declared, vanishing into a blur. Sasuke managed to track Lee's motions until a sudden punch landed square on his face. Sasuke couldn't believe it. His Sharingan had failed to predict the strike. Lee continued his relentless assault, landing punch after punch until he kicked Sasuke high into the air, loosening his bandages. Quickly, Lee wrapped Sasuke in his own bandages and flipped upside down, spinning at dizzying speeds toward the ground. But the spinning was abruptly stopped by what looked like a giant pinwheel holding Sasuke's bandages in place. Lee noticed a turtle calmly standing on the far side of the room. Lee immediately freed Sasuke and knelt before the turtle. Lee, do you realize what you've done? That technique is strictly forbidden against fellow Konoha shinobi. Prepare for your punishment, the turtle said sternly. Suddenly, an identical Lee clone appeared perched atop the turtle, only taller and wearing a Jonin vest. Lee, I'm very disappointed in you. You blatantly defied my orders and used that move on a comrade, scolded the older Lee. But Guy-sensei, I had a good ray. Lee was cut off as Guy punched him hard, sending him flying across the room. You idiot, Guy yelled. There's never an excuse for attacking a teammate. You've seriously diminished your flames of youth, Guy roared. Lee gasped and began shedding exaggerated anime tears. I'm sorry, Guy-sensei. I swear I'll train 100 times harder to strengthen my flames of youth, he cried, torn between sadness and determination. That's my student. I'm so proud of you, Guy said, giving a thumbs up and smiling so brightly his teeth gleamed. Lee cried even harder, Guy-sensei. Guy joined in tears. Lee. They sprinted toward each other, Team 7 watching in stunned silence at the bizarre display. Guy-sensei. Lee. Gai-sensei. Lee. They met in the middle and embraced while a genjutsu of a sunset played softly behind them. What the hell is this? My eyes are burning, Naruto thought frantically. He activated his Sharingan, hoping to dispel the illusion. Forget the village finding out about my Sharingan, I just need to stop this genjutsu. But the Sharingan didn't break the spell. It only seared the painful scene into Naruto's mind. Look away, Kit, look away, Kurama shouted, flooding Naruto with chakra to counter the genjutsu, but even that failed. Team 7 quietly left the two Lees to their strange reunion and silently agreed never to mention it again. They ascended the stairs to find Kakashi waiting at the door. Hey, you all made it, Kakashi said with his trademark eye smile. Why would it matter if we were all here? Naruto asked. Because the Chunin exams must be taken as a team. If one of you is missing, I wouldn't let you in, Kakashi explained. Naruto and Sasuke frowned. Sakura breathed a sigh of relief. After a final good luck, Kakashi disappeared in a puff of smoke. Team 7 entered the exam room, immediately bombarded by KI from other teams. Sakura struggled to breathe, Sasuke was sweating, and Naruto shrugged, releasing his own KI. The other teams quickly turned away from them. Suddenly, Ino tackled Sasuke to the floor. "Miss me, Sasuke-kun," Ino said, lying on top of him. "Oi, Ino pig, get off Sasuke, can't you see he doesn't like you?" Sakura yelled. "Go away, forehead. Sasuke-kun loves me and is probably glad to finally see me." Ino shot back. "Ino, why do you have to be so annoying?" Shikamaru sighed, approaching with Choji munching on chips. "Hey, looks like we all made it," Kiba shouted, with Akamaru barking in agreement. "Seems like the whole graduating class is here for the Chunin exams," Shino said in his usual monotone. Hinata quietly approached from behind her teammates. Naruto thought her Jonin-sensei would have helped break her out of her shell, but whoever it was apparently didn't. As the class chatted, Naruto noticed they were drawing a lot of attention. A silver-haired teen with glasses walked toward them. "You guys should keep it down. You're attracting too much attention," the boy said. "Who are you?" Sakura asked. "My name is Yakushi Kabuto," he replied. "Have you taken the exams before?" Ino asked. "I've taken them 7 times already," Kabuto said. "Wow, you must really suck," Kiba said. "Actually, since I've taken the exams so many times, I've collected info on various teams and contestants," Kabuto explained. "Got anything on Sabaku no Gaara and Rock Lee?" Sasuke asked. Kabuto pulled out a card with Gaara's picture. He's the Kasuke's son and teammates with his older siblings Kankuro and Temari. He's completed 12 C-rank missions and even 1 B-rank. It said he's never been scratched in a mission. The rookies fell silent at the thought of such a dangerous opponent. Kabuto shuffled through more cards. Rock Lee is part of Team 9, led by Taijutsu specialist Mato Gai, with teammates Hyuga Neji and Tenin. He's completed 50 D-rank and 15 C-rank missions. He's poor at ninjutsu and genjutsu, but his taijutsu is at least high Chunin level. I should also mention, this year Konoha entered 57 teams, Suna 1 team, AIM 21 teams, Kyusa, Hidden Grass 17 teams, and Odo 1 team. But don't worry about Odo. They're a new village and probably don't have strong shinobi yet. Naruto's attention snapped back as he heard running footsteps toward Kabuto. In a flash, 3 genin leapt from the crowd and attacked him. The first looked like a mummy, covered in bandages with only one eye visible. The second had a cocky grin and wore a shirt with the kanji for death. The third was a girl with long black hair, obsidian eyes, and sleeveless camouflage attire. The one-eyed Odo genin punched at Kabuto, who dodged easily, but Naruto winced at the sound wave assault on his enhanced ears. Kabuto doubled over, vomiting. "Don't underestimate Odo. We'll advance in the Chunin exams and bring honor to our village," the one-eyed genin said. "Yeah, Konoha's not the top dog anymore. Now it's Odo's time to shine," the smug male teammate added. Before the Konoha nin could respond, a puff of smoke appeared at the front. A tall man in a trench coat and a Konoha forehead protector stepped forward. "All right, quiet down. The written exam begins now. You'll have 1 hour to answer the 9 questions, followed by a final question. Begin." 1 hour later, "If no one else is ready to leave, then I have just one thing left to say, you pass," shouted Ibiki. "What? What about the final question?" Kiba yelled out. There was no final question. A Chunin always faces tough choices during missions that have serious consequences. This was a test to see if you can handle that kind of pressure and follow through. "It proves your Chunin material," Ibiki explained. Suddenly, the window smashed open, and a banner unfurled with the words, "The stunning and single proctor of the second exam, Mitarashi Anko." Naruto let out a groan, knowing Anko all too well, and not looking forward to whatever torment she might put him through. The other genin stared wide-eyed at Anko, unable to believe she was only wearing a coat that barely covered her modesty. Many silently wished for a breeze to lift her trench coat and reveal what she was hiding beneath, some already suffering nosebleeds as they imagined her scant attire. The girls' reactions were split, half jealous of Anko's seductive figure and generous curves, the other half irritated that she was flaunting herself and grabbing all the boys' attention. "You're just in time, Anko. I was just about done with them when you arrived," Ibiki said. "Good, looks like there's still 50 teams left. Maybe you're losing your touch, Ibiki," Anko teased. "What can I say? This year's candidates seem promisingly entertaining," Ibiki replied. "Don't worry. By the time I'm finished with them, there won't even be half that many teams left," Anko said with a sly grin. Alright, you lot, meet me at training ground 44 in 15 minutes or you fail. Anko shouted as she leapt back through the window and disappeared toward her favorite battleground. Naruto stood and gestured to his two teammates. Follow me, I know where the training grounds are. They nodded and trailed after Naruto, leaving the exam room and heading toward the Forest of Death. Forest of Death. Upon arriving, Naruto waited quietly as Anko began outlining the rules. Alright, you little brats, this is the Forest of Death, my personal playground. For the next 5 days, this forest is your home. Your goal is to reach the tower at the center of the grounds. She pulled out 2 scrolls, one white and one blue. You need both scrolls to enter the tower. Each team starts with 1 scroll and must steal the other from a rival team. Noticing Naruto zoning out, Anko tossed a kunai at him. He caught it easily and threw it back, making her jump aside. And as she moved, her trench coat shifted, giving anyone quick enough a full view of her assets. Immediate chaos ensued. Genin everywhere suffered huge nosebleeds, some even fainted with a perverse smile. Naruto smirked at the chaos he'd caused, while Anko glared, annoyed at being caught off guard. She slipped behind Naruto and pressed her chest against his back, making him stiffen from the sudden contact. Well, looks like we've got a pretty gutsy little Genin here. Too bad this forest has swallowed up plenty of brave ones before, Anko said, trying to intimidate him. Naruto grinned smugly and pointed to Kiba. This forest is a joke. The creatures here are about as dangerous as the puppy on the Inuzuka's head. I bet my team's the first to reach the tower. We'll see if you're strong enough to survive or just another snack for my pets, Anko replied, moving back in front of the group. She knew Naruto wouldn't be fazed by the forest, but the other genin might be. Anko then signaled to the nearby Chunin to hand out death waivers. Here are your death waivers. If you die in the Forest of Death, Konoha is not responsible. Sign them, turn them in, then get your scroll and proceed to your gate. After submitting their forms and receiving their heaven scrolls, Team 7 made their way to Gate 59 and waited for the timer to start. Naruto turned to his teammates. We stick together, Sasuke and I will take on enemies. Sakura, stay back and watch for ambushes. The buzzer sounded, gates swung open, and Team 7 dashed into the forest. The second exam had begun. 30 minutes later, Naruto used his heightened sense of smell to track another team. Perched in the trees, Team 7 watched an AIM squad setting traps around their camp. Naruto could tell they were weak, about as tough as Sakura, and likely no real threat. Sasuke was first to act. He dropped down on one genin and kicked him hard into a tree. Naruto appeared behind the second and shoved a 3-pronged kunai into his throat, watching him bleed out to death. The last genin's teammate was unconscious, and the other had been taken out by Team 7. Give us your scroll, and maybe I'll think about letting you live, Naruto said with a sinister grin. The AIM genin trembled and placed their heaven scroll on the ground. That's my scroll, please, just let me go. Naruto grabbed the scroll and burned it with a small fire jutsu. Sorry, we already have one. You've got nothing to trade. He smiled darkly, and before the genin could beg, Naruto hurled a wind-augmented 3-pronged kunai into his head, killing him instantly. Naruto, you didn't have to kill him, Sakura scolded. Sakura, in these exams we're enemies. The proctor said killing's allowed, so I'm taking full advantage, Naruto replied with an evil smirk that made Sakura shudder. Let's move, we still need the Earth Scroll, Naruto said, leaping into the trees. Sasuke-kun, why didn't you stop Naruto from killing him? Sakura asked quietly. Why should I care if the brat kills some trash from a rival village? Sasuke shrugged. Sakura lowered her head in disappointment at Sasuke's cold attitude, but followed as Naruto tracked another team's scent. About an hour later, they hid behind bushes watching a team from Kusa. Their spying didn't last long. A red-haired girl with red eyes, glasses, and brown shinobi clothes sensed them. Someone's behind those bushes, she shouted. Her teammates threw shuriken toward the bushes. Team 7 jumped back into the trees. Sakura stayed back as Naruto and Sasuke attacked the Kusa team from behind. Karin, where are they? One Kusa genin asked. Karin closed her eyes, sensing their presence. They're behind you. The genin turned just in time to block Naruto's kunai and stopped Sasuke's kick to his stomach. Naruto and the Kusa genin fought fiercely. Naruto grinned as the other scowled. Growing tired of the fight, Naruto channeled wind chakra through his kunai. The enhanced weapons sliced through the opponent's blade like butter. The Kusa genin couldn't dodge fast enough and took a deep, bleeding slash. He dropped to his knees as Naruto approached, pressing a kunai to his throat. Any last words? Naruto asked. Yeah, screw you, the genin spat. You're brave, not begging or pleading. For that, I'll make it quick. Naruto stabbed him in the heart, killing him immediately. Meanwhile, Sasuke battled a second genin, pushing him back easily. Seeing Naruto finished, Sasuke sped up, landing a chakra-enhanced kick that sent the genin flying into a tree with a loud snap. The genin collapsed dead, his spine broken. Karin watched her teammates die but felt no sorrow. They had always resented her for holding them back, always blaming her for their failures. Even their sensei thought she was a liability. Naruto searched the genin's pockets and pulled out an earth scroll. Yes, this is the right one. Let's head to the tower before anyone else gets there, Naruto said, handing the scrolls to Sasuke for safekeeping. He glanced at Karin, expecting anger or sadness, but saw indifference, relief, even satisfaction. Confused, Naruto realized she must have hated her teammates. That same look flashed on his face whenever he killed villagers who attacked him as a child, the grim satisfaction of seeing those who hated you meet a brutal end. You all go ahead, I want to see if I can scavenge anything useful from their bodies. I'll catch up later, Naruto lied, wanting some time alone to try and convince Karin to join him. He suspected she had a rare sensory ability and would be a valuable asset to his forces. Sasuke just shrugged, leapt onto a tree branch, and moved forward. Sakura frowned, uneasy about leaving the girl alone with Naruto. She already suspected Naruto's moral compass wasn't exactly pointing north, and worried he might reveal that it was actually pointing far south. After a moment of thought, Sakura chose to trust Naruto and went after Sasuke. Naruto stood in the clearing before a kneeling Karin. Karin noticed he was simply watching her. Aren't you going to loot their supplies? Karin asked. No, I've got plenty already. Aren't you going to yell at me for killing your teammates? Naruto replied. Karin shook her head. I hated those two. They'd always abandon me and insult me because I wasn't the type to fight. I'm more of a support shinobi with strong sensory skills. Interesting. So what do you plan to do now that your team is gone? Naruto asked. No clue. My sensei will probably discard me now that his prized students are dead. Well, you could join me if you want, Naruto said, stroking his chin. Karin eyed him skeptically. You mean join Konoha? Naruto chuckled. No, I mean join me. I'm leaving this weak village soon and could use powerful allies. Karin scanned his chakra for deception or ill intent. She was surprised by what she found. Her ability let her discern a person's nature from their chakra, sense chakra at a distance, and heal using her blood. Naruto's chakra was dark, cold, evil, and full of hatred. But beneath that, a tiny flicker of bright, warm, good chakra remained, though it was being consumed rapidly by darkness. She guessed Naruto had once been kind, but something had turned his heart. Reluctantly, she decided to trust him. She had little to lose. All right, I'll join you, but I can't leave safely. Other teams or wild animals will kill me, Karin said. Naruto laughed and tossed a Hiraishin Kane on the ground. Don't worry, I have a way out of the forest. Just grab my hand and I'll teleport you to my base. He extended his hand. Karin hesitated, then took it. Naruto focused on a kunai at his compound and vanished in a flash of yellow light. Namikaze compound Naruto and Karin reappeared in the compound in a bright yellow flash. Welcome to my place. Feel free to take a room upstairs. The training grounds are out back, stay clear of the fence. It kills anyone it doesn't recognize. Anyway, I have an exam to finish, Naruto said. This place is huge. Are you from a rich clan? Karin asked. Yeah, this is the Namikaze clan estate. It was left to me by my father, the fourth Hokage, Namikaze Minato, Naruto answered. Karin was stunned to learn he was the Yandame's son and even more shocked he wanted to leave the village. You're the fourth Hokage's son. Then why leave? The villagers must adore you. Naruto's expression darkened. They don't love me. Actually, they hate me. Why? Karin asked. Before my dad died, he sealed the Kyuubi inside me and told the old monkey Sarutobi to tell the village I was a hero because I contained the beast, Naruto said. But the villagers only saw me as the Kyuubi, not the Jinchuriki. When I was 6, some drunks chased me down an alley and nearly killed me. That's terrible. Did the third Hokage do anything? Karin asked. Naruto's face hardened. No, he just watched and lectured me about forgiving those who hurt me. He'd release the attackers with a slap on the wrist. That old fool should have kept quiet. I could have been adopted and had a family, but it was all ruined by him, Naruto shouted, losing his temper. I'm sorry, Karin said softly. Naruto's face softened. It's okay, I just got angry. Though one good thing came from the third Hokage stupidity. What? Karin asked. When those drunks attacked me, I passed out and met the Kyuubi. He decided to help me get revenge on the village. He's been training me since I was 6, my first real friend, Naruto said. Ah, so touching, Kurama teased with fake tears. Naruto laughed in his head. Shut up, furball. Anyway, that's my story. Hope to hear yours after the exams. See you later, Karin-chan, Naruto waved, making Karin blush at the honorific. Bye, Naruto-kun, Karin covered her mouth, embarrassed she'd said the honorific first. Naruto chuckled and vanished in a yellow flash. As he left, Karin thought, maybe he can still be saved from that darkness inside. Maybe one day that warm chakra will push back the dark. Don't worry, Naruto-kun, I'll save you from the shadows, I promise. Forest of Death, a team of AIM nins stared at the strange kunai in the clearing, curious. They had never seen a three-pronged kunai before, nor the mysterious writing on the handle. I wonder who owns this, said an overweight AIM nin. The scarred leader snatched it. Who cares? It looks cool, I'm keeping it. They were so focused on the kunai, they didn't notice the yellow flash behind them. The last AIM nin spoke up. What do you think the writing means? It's a formula for a teleportation jutsu, the Hurashin no Jutsu, a mysterious voice answered. The AIM nin immediately formed a back-to-back defense, ready for an ambush. Naruto stepped out with a bloodthirsty grin. Who the hell are you? The leader demanded. Just a genin taking the Chunin exams, Naruto said in a childish tone. This guy doesn't look tough. Let's kill him and take his scroll, the last AIM nin sneered. I don't think you're worth my time, but you'll make great practice for my Manjikayo Sharingan, Naruto said, closing his eyes to reveal the special pupil pattern. So what if you have fancy eyes? We're still killing you, the leader said, lunging with a kunai. Naruto stood still, letting the blade pass through his neck. What was that? The leader yelled. That was Kamui, one of my eye techniques. Now for you, Naruto said, focusing on the fat teammate as he thought, Amaterasu. His left eye bled as black flames engulfed the AIM nin. He screamed as the flames consumed him to ash. His teammates stared in horror and readied for battle, while Naruto practiced his skills on some weak genin. The AIM leader threw his umbrella in the air, firing a barrage of senbon needles. The others threw kunai with explosive tags. Ninja art, needle rain death, the leader shouted. Naruto watched unimpressed as the needles and explosives sped toward him. The kunai hit first, exploding and creating a dust cloud. The AIM team peered in to see if Naruto was dead. Suddenly, a black skeletal arm burst from the dust and grabbed the leader. As the dust cleared, Naruto was unharmed, surrounded by a skeletal ribcage and one arm. Too bad you weren't strong enough. Your death will be painful, Naruto said with a sinister grin. He used the Susanoo arm to hurl the leader into a tree, then turned to the last teammate. The genin begged for mercy, but Naruto had shown enough mercy for one day. Deactivating Susanoo, he activated Kamui, watching an interdimensional vortex tear the genin apart and swallow him whole. Naruto walked back to the leader, who was trying to crawl away with broken legs. Naruto smirked. Naruto strode forward and stepped onto the leader's shattered leg, making him grunt in pain. Where do you think you're going? Naruto asked, a sly grin spreading across his face. Please, just let me go, the AIM ninja begged desperately. Naruto placed a hand on his chin, humming thoughtfully. No, I don't believe so. Actually, you'll serve perfectly as a sacrifice for the Edo Tensei. He activated Kamui with his right eye, pulling the genin into the eye's dimension. The leader screamed in terror the entire time he was being drawn in. Naruto decided he'd had enough amusement and sniffed the air, picking up the scent of his teammates. But alongside their scent was a strong aroma of snakes. He quickened his pace, hoping they weren't in trouble, not that he cared much. If they died, he wouldn't progress to the next stage. With Sasuke and Sakura were heading toward the tower when a fierce gust of wind slammed them into a tree, halting their progress. Suddenly, a Kyusa genin emerged from the branches and stood before partial Team 7. Well, it's a pleasure to finally meet you, Sasuke-kun, the Kyusa Kunoichi said. Who are you, and what do you want from me? Sasuke snapped. Me, I'm here to offer you the power to take down Itachi, but first you must prove you're worthy of my gift, the Kyusa ninja replied. A massive surge of Ki radiated from her, freezing Sasuke and Sakura in place. Sakura collapsed to her knees, and though Sasuke struggled against the fear, he remained rooted as the Kusunin began forming hand signs, finishing with the snake sign. A strong wind rushed toward them both. Sasuke knew if he didn't move, they'd be dead. Desperate, he pulled a kunai and stabbed his own hand. The pain broke through the Ki's hold, allowing him to grab Sakura and dodge the attack. Using pain to regain control, that's impressive. I think I'll enjoy playing with you a while longer, Sasuke-kun, she said. After placing the unconscious Sakura somewhere safe, Sasuke faced off with the Kusunin, hoping to defeat her. The fight started with taijutsu. Sasuke threw rapid punches and kicks, but the Kusunin evaded each effortlessly. Gritting his teeth, Sasuke activated his Sharingan and swung a roundhouse kick toward her head. She ducked and countered with a punch to his solar plexus, sending him crashing into a tree. Landing on a branch, Sasuke threw a kunai at her, but she caught it easily. I'm disappointed, Sasuke-kun. If this is your strength, you'll never defeat Itachi, she taunted. Red with rage, Sasuke snarled, Shut up! I will kill Itachi and avenge the Uchiha clan. He pulled out 5 shuriken and hurled them at her, but she blocked them all with the captured kunai. Smirking, Sasuke tugged the wires attached to the shuriken, wrapping them around the Kusunin and immobilizing her. Sasuke quickly performed hand signs. Fire style, dragon flame jutsu. He lit the wires on fire by bringing them to his mouth, flames crawling along the wires and engulfing the trapped Kusunin. As she screamed in pain, the fire died down and Sasuke's eyes widened. She wasn't dead. Her skin had melted away, revealing a pale face beneath with purple markings around yellow, slit pupils. Coo, well done, Sasuke-kun. I never expected you to outsmart me, but you still need to prove your worthiness, chuckled the pale stranger. Who the hell are you? Sasuke shouted. Orochimaru, S-rank rogue ninja, one of the legendary Sannin and Konoha's most wanted, right after Uchiha Itachi, came a mysterious voice. Sasuke and Orochimaru both scanned their surroundings, but no one was visible. Orochimaru seemed especially surprised, unable to sense anyone nearby. Naruto stepped out from the shadows, placing himself between them. Coo, if it isn't one of Sasuke's teammates. I'm surprised you got this close without me noticing, Orochimaru said, amused. What's an S-rank missing nin doing in Konoha during the Chunin exams? Naruto asked. I'm here to offer Sasuke-kun a gift, then I'll be on my way, Orochimaru replied. You're lying. I'll make you talk, Naruto said, pulling a bottle of pills from his vest. I have to go all out from the start. He's an S-rank rogue ninja. 4 tails won't cut it. Taking 2 pills will boost my durability enough to handle 6 tails, but I'll probably collapse afterward, Naruto thought. He swallowed 2 pills and began channeling Kurama's chakra, transforming from version 1 to version 2 with 6 tails. Naruto's second form was vastly different. His body cloaked in a crimson fox shape with 6 tails, white glowing eyes, and partial fox bones visible beneath the skin. Orochimaru smirked at Naruto's first form, but his expression turned to shock seeing the 6-tailed version. Impossible, he's only 12. His body shouldn't handle 6 tails, Orochimaru thought. Sasuke was frozen, awestruck by the immense and sinister chakra Naruto radiated. What kind of chakra is this? It's like the one from Nami no Kuni, but stronger and darker, he thought. Kyuubi Naruto let out a powerful roar before disappearing in a blur and punching Orochimaru, sending him crashing through a tree and creating a large crater. Orochimaru rose, realizing he needed to finish this fast before the Hokage and Anbu arrived. Near Naruto, he quickly performed hand seals and summoned Hideki, his messenger fox. Hideki was startled to see Naruto using 6 tails of chakra. How may I serve you, Naruto-sama? Asked the small fox. Hideki, stay close. When I collapse, the Sandaime and Anbu will try to remove me from the exam. Your job is to tell the Sandaime that Orochimaru, the S-rank rogue ninja, is in the village and I fought him using your master's chakra. Also, tell him not to remove me. I'll recover in a few hours. Kyuubi Naruto instructed. Understood, Naruto-sama, Hideki replied, slipping into the shadows. Naruto dashed toward Orochimaru, who performed quick seals and slammed his hands to the ground. Kuchios, Edo Tensei, Orochimaru shouted. Naruto's eyes widened. He's improved Edo Tensei, but who could match me in the state? A coffin emerged from the earth with the number 1 on its lid. The lid opened, and Naruto's shock deepened. He saw the first Hokage. Kit, this is very bad. Don't let the Shodai catch you or it's over, Kurama warned. Orochimaru smirked, stabbing a kunai with a seal tag into the Shadai's head. The resurrected Hokage's eyes turned white as he charged Naruto, punching him into a tree. Orochimaru seized the chance to approach Sasuke. With limited time, he intended to curse-mark Sasuke before fleeing the scene. Edo Tensei Shadai vs. Six-Tailed Naruto. Naruto snapped out of his daze from the Shadai's blow and charged back, slamming the Hokage into the ground and making a huge crater. He jumped back to keep distance. What now? The only way to stop him is sealing, but I don't have tags, and once I drop from this form I'll collapse. Naruto worried. This is bad. Your notes say only sealing or the summoner stopping the jutsu can end Edo Tensei. Hold him off until Anbu arrives. If he uses Mokuton to suppress me, I'll be out for days, Kurama advised. Suddenly, a wooden tentacle burst from the ground, aiming to snare Naruto. He dodged, but more tentacles ambushed him from every side. Spotting a gap, Naruto leapt through and escaped the trap, running toward the Shadai. Fire style. Demon Fox Hellfire. Naruto breathed fire at the Hokage, who quickly formed a half-dome barrier with hand signs. The wood creatures stopped pursuing him, and Naruto clawed through the barrier, slashing the Shadai into a tree. Raising his head, Naruto combined positive black chakra with negative white chakra from his tails, forming a dense purple sphere. Swallowing it, his body grew heavier with the concentrated energy inside. Smoke drifted from his mouth as Naruto unleashed the concentrated chakra blast, Baijudama. A vivid beam of chakra surged toward the first Hokage. The Shadaime barely managed to plant his hands into the earth. Layers of wood instantly erupted to shield him. The chakra beam collided with the wooden barrier, sending up a thick cloud of smoke that engulfed the area. Naruto held his breath, waiting to see the outcome. Unexpectedly, wooden tendrils sprouted from the ground and ensnared him. He struggled fiercely against their grip, but the wood suppressed his chakra power. Emerging from the smoke, the Shadaime formed hand signs. Naruto immediately recognized the technique. Hokage-style 60-year-old technique, enclosed hermitage entering society with bliss-bringing hands. Naruto fought harder, but the Shadaime slammed his palm into Naruto's chest, attaching a glowing blue chakra thread. Pillars of wood erupted around Naruto, suppressing Kurama's chakra and holding him firmly in place. The kanji for sit appeared on the Hokage's palm as he forced Kurama's chakra back into its seal. Kurama howled in agony as his chakra was pushed back into containment, and he lost consciousness. Outside, the six-tailed cloak gradually faded as Naruto's body reappeared. When the jutsu ended, Naruto collapsed to the ground, exhausted and unconscious. From the earth, a coffin rose and the Shadaime stepped inside. Once his task was complete, the coffin sank back underground, leaving Naruto unconscious and Hideki hidden nearby. Hokage Tower Sarutobi sat in his office, working on paperwork, when a powerful and ominous chakra caught his attention. Suddenly, an Anbu burst in as Sarutobi donned his battle armor. Hokage-sama, the monkey-masked Anbu shouted. I sensed it already. Alert 2 Anbu squads and have them follow me into the Forest of Death, the Hokage commanded. Understood. The Anbu responded, rushing off to relay the orders. What could have happened that would make Naruto-kun use such chakra? Wondered the third Hokage as he leapt from the window. Orochimaru vs. Sasuke. Sasuke was recovering from the shock and preparing to get Sakura away from Orochimaru. His ninja senses sharpened as he dodged a kick from the snake Sannin, leapt to a nearby branch and swiftly formed hand signs. Fire style, Phoenix Flower Jutsu. Sasuke thought, launching 6 fireballs at Orochimaru. Orochimaru effortlessly dodged, releasing snakes from his sleeve to coil around Sasuke. Sasuke transformed into a log to evade the attack. Orochimaru turned to face Sasuke, who threw shuriken in return. Orochimaru smirked, sidestepping the blades. He charged at Sasuke, intent on finishing him and branding him with the curse mark. Once marked, Sasuke would have to flee swiftly. Sasuke was drained. His brief rest barely restored him, and he felt himself slowing. Exploiting this, Orochimaru stretched his neck unnaturally long, bringing his head near Sasuke's. Too weary to dodge, Sasuke was bitten on the neck, and a curse mark with 3 Tamo appeared. Orochimaru then sensed the absence of Kurama's chakra and commanded the resurrected Shadaime back into his coffin. He focused back on Sasuke, sinking into the earth. You will come to me seeking power, Sasuke-kun, power to defeat Itachi which I can grant. Sasuke listened, and once Orochimaru vanished, he lost consciousness. Hawkage with ANBU Sarutobi and his ANBU squad dashed into the forest, chasing Kurama's chakra. Suddenly, the chakra vanished. They tracked its last known location and found Naruto lying face down in the dirt, bloodied and torn. ANBU, take him to the hospital, Sarutobi ordered. I wouldn't do that, a hidden voice said. The ANBU tensed, weapons drawn to protect their leader. Hideki stepped from the shadows. I remember you, you're Hideki, Sarutobi asked. That's right, Hokage-sama. I am one of Naruto-sama's messenger foxes, Hideki replied. Why are you here? Asked the Hokage. He asked me to deliver a message in case this happened. He went into a six-tailed state to fight Orochimaru, an S-ranked rogue ninja. He knew releasing that much chakra would knock him out and alert you and your ANBU. He also told me to tell you not to remove him from the exams. He'll wake soon and want to continue, explained Hideki. Sarutobi frowned. Did he say why Orochimaru was here? No, only that I should bring this message and carry him somewhere safe to recover, Hideki answered. How did Orochimaru survive a Jinchuriki with 6 tails? A mole-masked ANBU asked. Orochimaru wasn't the one who fought Naruto-sama. He summoned the Shadame Hokage, who used Mokyuten to suppress Naruto-sama's chakra. Naruto was no match, Hideki explained. Sarutobi frowned deeper. So that was your plan, Orochimaru. What about his teammates? Asked the Hokage. From what I saw, the Uchiha was in another clearing, Hideki pointed. I watched Naruto-sama's fight mostly. Sarutobi signaled the ANBU to head toward the Uchiha's last known location. Hideki carefully lifted Naruto and moved to a different clearing, standing guard to protect his summoner. With Sakura ran through the forest carrying Sasuke. Upon waking, she saw a pale figure with a long neck bite Sasuke, marking him strangely. When the attacker left, she rushed to Sasuke's side, finding him unconscious. She hid under a tree, worried and wondering where Naruto was but pushed the thought away to focus on protecting Sasuke. She set traps around their camp to prevent surprise attacks and kept a close watch on Sasuke. Sasuke-kun, please be okay, Sakura thought anxiously. With Sarutobi 8 ANBU kneeled in the forest before their leader. Report, Sarutobi commanded. The lizard-masked ANBU spoke first. Hokage-sama, we could not find Uchiha Sasuke. Whoever took him covered their tracks well. The hawk-masked ANBU added, we found evidence Orochimaru was here and signs of battle. The third Hokage sighed. Very well. ANBU Squad 8, notify the ANBU commander that the village is now on code red. ANBU Squad 13, gather the council. I need to brief them. Orochimaru's presence must not be disclosed to anyone below Jonin rank or to civilians. Understood, all ANBU responded with a hi and dispersed. Sarutobi was left to his thoughts. Why have you come, my wayward student? If your goal is to harm Konoha, I will ensure you never leave this village. I will finish what I began all those years ago. He left the forest, heading to the council room, already feeling a headache coming on. One day later Naruto awoke a day after being defeated by the resurrected Shadame Hokage. He was beneath a tree in the forest of death with Hideki standing guard. Hideki, how long was I out? Naruto asked. Only one day, Naruto-sama, the small fox replied. Naruto stood and stretched, checking his body. His clothes were torn, and some wounds were scabbed but not fully healed. Sitting cross-legged, he entered his mindscape. Mindscape Naruto found himself in a forest, but it was silent and eerie, with trees blackened as if burned. In the distance, he saw Kurama lying unconscious, the seal visible around his neck. Looks like he was right. Shadame would knock me out, Naruto thought. A sinister grin spread across his face as he climbed onto Kurama's back. Imagining pink bows, he playfully tied them on Kurama's head and tails. Activating his Sharingan, he immortalized this moment, intending to use it to blackmail Kurama later. He left the mindscape and returned to the exams. Outside world Naruto rose and turned to Hideki. Thanks for watching over me. You can go now, Naruto said. No problem, Naruto-sama, Hideki bowed and vanished in a puff of smoke. Naruto quickly unsealed a fresh set of clothes. Black ANBU pants, a kunai holster, extra pouches for shuriken and scrolls, a dark blue shirt, a red and black jacket, and steel-plated gloves. He sniffed the air, catching Sakura's scent. Jumping into the trees, he headed her way, arriving at what looked like a battle about 15 minutes later. Sakura was being restrained by the girl from the Odo squad while her teammates looked on. Beneath the tree, he noticed Sasuke unconscious, and Li lying defeated just a few steps away from the one-eyed Odo Genin. Instead of fussing over your hair like some useless civilian, you should have trained to become a shinobi. Now you're about to die, the Odo Kunoichi sneered, pressing a kunai against Sakura's throat. Naruto hurled a three-pronged kunai toward the Odo Kunoichi. It lodged deep into her leg, causing her to scream in agony. "Ahhh, who the hell did that?" she shouted as she released Sakura and tried to staunch the bleeding. Naruto instantly teleported to the kunai, then drew his katana and pierced her chest before she even realized what happened. "Kin," Zaku shouted. Well, what do we have here? The little Odo Genin. I was wrong, you're strong, about as strong as Sakura, though I'd consider that more an insult than a compliment," Naruto said casually, wiping blood from his blade onto Kin's jacket. "Naruto," Sakura cried in relief. "You bastard, I'll kill you," Zaku roared, raising his arms. Decapitating airwaves. Deadly blasts of air shot from his hands toward Naruto. Naruto yawned and effortlessly sidestepped the attack. He smirked and charged at Zaku, dodging as Zaku repeatedly wasted chakra with the same attack. Naruto appeared behind Zaku, katana drawn, but Dasu had sneaked up and activated his melody arm. Naruto dropped to his knees, clutching his ears as Dasu's assault disrupted his inner ear. Zaku grinned, aiming to finish Naruto off. Naruto barely regained his senses and dodged poorly, receiving slashes to his left arm and leg. He put some distance between them and took deep breaths. With Kurama still unconscious, he couldn't heal the damage caused by Dasu's attack. "Not bad. Looks like I need to be careful around that damned arm of yours. Both of you rely on your arms for attacks, huh? Guess I'll just have to tear them off," Naruto said with a grin. Recovering most of his senses, Naruto formed hand seals. Fire style. Phoenix Flower Jutsu. 10 fireballs streaked toward the two Odo Genin, forcing them apart. Naruto created 2 shadow clones to distract Zaku while he faced Dasu. He stood before Dasu, quickly forming hand seals. Earth style, earth flow spears. He slammed his hands into the ground, and sharp earth spears shot up, nearly impaling Dasu. Dasu leapt into the air to avoid the attack, but Naruto anticipated this and used his next move. Fire style, fireball jutsu, Naruto shouted as a blazing fireball struck Dasu midair. Dasu swapped places using a substitution and appeared behind Naruto, activating his melody arm again. He was caught off guard when the Naruto clone exploded. "Great clone explosion, always wanted to try that," Naruto said as he jumped down from the tree. Naruto quickly performed hand signs and shouted his next attack before Dasu could recover. Fire style. Burning ash, Naruto exhaled a cloud of ash, snapping his teeth to ignite it into a raging inferno. When the flames died down, Dasu lay badly burned and face down but still alive. Naruto approached, drew his katana and stabbed through Dasu's melody arm. Dasu screamed in pain. "You smell like a certain snake I know. What do you know about Orochimaru?" Naruto asked. Dasu's eyes widened. "I'll never betray Orochimaru-sama." Naruto smirked and sliced off Dasu's melody arm. Dasu screamed, losing a lot of blood. "Tell me again, what do you know about Orochimaru?" "Never." "You're wasting your time," Dasu spat defiantly. Naruto grew irritated, lifted Dasu, locked eyes with him, and activated his Mangekyou Sharingan. He cast Tsukuyomi on Dasu. After 10 hours in the illusionary world but only 2 seconds in reality, Dasu broke. "I'll tell you what you want, just stop for Kami's sake," Dasu cried. Naruto dropped him and drew his katana again, pressing the blade to Dasu's throat. "Speak," Naruto demanded seriously. "Orochimaru sent us to kill Uchiha Sasuke and advance to the final round of the Chunin exams. He's planning an invasion with Odo and Suna's help during the finals, intending to unleash the Suna Jinchuriki and invade the village from outside." "That's all I know, I swear," Dasu pleaded. "All right, time to tie up some loose ends," Naruto said as he prepared to finish Dasu. Dasu begged for his life until Naruto sensed a wicked and foul chakra nearby, not as vile as Kurama's, but still unmistakable. "Looks like things just got a lot more interesting," Naruto said with a smirk. He turned back to Dasu, activated Kamui, and sucked him in to join the Aim Genin, where both would be used as Edo Tensei sacrifices. Suddenly, Naruto received memories from his shadow clones. From what he saw, Orochimaru's curse seal had fully awakened, and Sasuke was using its power to overpower Zaku. Naruto teleported back to the kunai left from his ambush on Kin. When he arrived, Sasuke was trying to tear Zaku's arms off, while Sakura yelled for him to stop. Teams 9 and 10 watched as Sasuke went berserk. Sakura moved to intervene, but Naruto grabbed her hand. Naruto, what the hell are you doing? Let go, I have to stop Sasuke-kun, Sakura shouted, struggling. No, Sakura, this is how the shinobi world works. It's soaked in blood. Those unwilling to spill blood and bring death don't belong as ninjas, Naruto said, tightening his grip. Naruto turned to Sasuke. Uchiha, finish him quickly so we're not the last at the tower. Don't worry, Dobi, I'll be quick, Sasuke said with a wild grin. No, Sasuke-kun, don't do this, don't become like Naruto, Sakura yelled, still fighting Naruto's hold. Naruto suddenly stiffened and released Sakura. She dashed toward Sasuke to stop him. Out of the corner of his eye, Naruto saw Nara Shikamaru extending his shadow toward him and Yamanaka, Ino readying her family's mind transfer jutsu. Shadow possession jutsu successful. Ino, hurry and enter his mind to restrain him, Shikamaru called. Right, mind transfer jutsu. Ino left her body and entered Naruto's mind, unaware of the danger ahead. Inside Naruto's mind, Ino found herself in a burned forest with blackened soil all around. As she walked, a massive nine-tailed fox appeared. You've made a big mistake coming here, Ino, a voice said behind her. She turned and saw Naruto. What the hell is that? Naruto chuckled darkly. That, Ino, is the Kyuubi no Kitsune. It's sealed inside me and guards my mind from intruders like you and your clan. Naruto noticed Kurama waking. You're waking earlier than expected. Enjoy your nap. Damn it, Kit. I told you not to get caught in the Shodame's Mokyuten Jutsu, but no, you waited for him to step out of the smoke. Of all the stupid. Kurama stopped when he saw Ino. Kit, who the hell is this? Kurama asked. This is Ino, a Konoha genin who foolishly entered my mind. Now she pays the price. Eat her, Naruto said. Ino snapped out of shock when Naruto said eat her. With pleasure, it's been a while since I had a human snack. Kurama lunged at Ino, who screamed, forgetting she could cancel the jutsu. Don't digest her. I want to keep her alive as a bargaining chip or for a good laugh, Naruto chuckled darkly. Kurama looked annoyed. You want me to eat her then not digest her? Where am I supposed to put her? No clue. Maybe trap her inside your head and make her live her worst fears. It'll be hilarious when she emerges a broken kunoichi, Naruto said. Kurama grinned. Can I make her a vegetable? No, just broken, not that broken, Naruto replied. Kurama frowned. You really kill the fun. Anyway, I've got to go. Back outside as Shikamaru and Choji watched anxiously, Ino's body screamed and then went limp. Damn, having another person in my mind was weird, Naruto said, still trapped in Shikamaru's shadow possession. Nara, better release me before I kill you. Same village or not, I can still kill you, Naruto threatened. What the hell did you do to Ino? Shikamaru demanded. Naruto smirked. Why, whatever do you mean? I haven't touched her. You did something in your mind, otherwise she'd be back. You're supposed to be the smart one. Fine, I'll tell you what I did. But first, answer me this, do you know what a Jinchuriki is? Shikamaru gave him a confused and angry look. No, what does that have to do with Ino? I'm disappointed. You seemed smart, but I guess I misjudged you. A Jinchuriki is a human sealed with one of the 9 Biju roaming the world. These Jinchuriki are powerful because they have endless chakra and are protected from clans like the Yamanaka, Naruto explained. Shikamaru was sweating as his technique continued to falter. How is it blocking them from the Yamanaka? Naruto chuckled. They've got Biju sealed inside their minds, Nara. What do you think happens when a Yamanaka tries to enter a Jinchuriki's mind? Shikamaru pondered for a moment before going pale and whispering, What did you say, Nara? This time Shikamaru spoke louder. They devour them. Ding, ding, ding. Looks like someone's got some brains, Nara, Naruto said sarcastically. Shikamaru flushed with anger. Bring her back. What part of devour don't you understand, Nara? She's gone, Naruto replied. Shikamaru and Choji exchanged shocked glances before Naruto continued, but maybe I can get my tenant to spit her back out. If you manage to get into the tower with the unconscious Ino, I'll convince him to release her. Choji looked hopeful while Shikamaru scowled. Fine, we'll do it, but you better keep your word. Choji hoisted Ino's limp form and followed Shikamaru toward the tower. Naruto turned to see everyone staring at him wide-eyed, even the barely alive Zaku. Oh yeah, I forgot about you guys, he said, focusing on Zaku. Shouldn't you be dead? Naruto scanned the area and spotted Sakura weeping over an unconscious Sasuke. If they can't do it right, I'll do it myself. In a blur, Naruto appeared behind Zaku with his katana drawn. He swung it down, slicing diagonally through Zaku's torso until the blade exited the other side. Both halves slid apart, spilling organs everywhere. Everyone recoiled in horror, but Naruto grinned maniacally. He strode toward Team 9. "What are you doing here?" Neji was the first to answer. "We came for our idiot Lee. We're leaving now." Neji scooped up Lee and glanced nervously at Tenten. "Come on, Tenten." Tenten followed, and Naruto's gaze shifted back to Sakura, who was still crying by Sasuke's side. He approached until Sakura stood, brandishing a kunai to defend him. "Stay away from Sasuke-kun, you monster," she shouted. Naruto rolled his eyes. "Out of all the kunoichi in my class, I get you. Relax, pink-haired bitch. I'm not killing your precious Uchiha. I still need him for the next round." He walked past Sakura's tears and examined Sasuke's curse mark. "This seal is intricate. It contains algorithms for mind control, chakra storage, and chakra transformation. Orochimaru couldn't have made this alone. There's a seal master helping him. Who could it be?" He was snapped from his thoughts when Sakura approached. "Do you know what that is?" she asked quietly. He looked at her and sighed in relief internally. "It's a curse seal from Orochimaru, a notorious S-rank criminal from Konoha. It controls Sasuke's mind and converts his chakra into something stronger. Help me move him under the tree so I can seal it." Sakura nodded and helped position Sasuke beneath the tree. Naruto summoned a shadow clone and ordered it to fetch sealing materials from the compound. The clone vanished in a flash of yellow. Naruto waited silently for 5 minutes before the clone returned carrying chakra ink, a brush, and sealing paper. He said, "While I draw the seal, help me take off his shirt to make it easier." Sakura blushed but complied. Naruto carefully inscribed a complex seal to neutralize the curse's mind control. He added several layers. A Hurricane formula to teleport Sasuke to Orochimaru if he seeks more power. A suppression seal to block the curse's influence on command. And a kill switch that would overload Sasuke's body with chakra, ending him if necessary. When finished, he approached the unconscious Sasuke and blushing Sakura, seated Sasuke upright, and placed the seal over the curse mark. After some hand signs, he infused chakra. 4-star darkness seal. Naruto intoned as the seal left the paper and spread onto Sasuke's skin, forming 2 overlapping stars made of seal algorithms instead of ink lines. He then created another shadow clone to plant a Hurricane kunai at the tower entrance, preventing interference from other teams. "Done. We'll rest here until he wakes, then head to the tower." Sakura nodded and kept watch over Sasuke while Naruto leaned against the tree root, closing his eyes, wondering, "What's Karin-chan up to?" Namikaze clan compound. Karin wandered through the vast house, exploring its rooms. The day before she'd checked the training grounds and basement. Today she explored the second floor. Upon opening the final unexplored door, she found herself surrounded by at least 50 clones scouring books and taking notes. One clone noticed her and approached. "Can I help you, Karin-chan?" the clone asked. Karin blushed lightly. "I was just looking around. What is this place?" "This is the library and study. Clones do research here on new jutsu and sealing methods for the boss. Right now, we're trying to improve 2 of his techniques, but it's tough," the clone explained. "Maybe I can help. I'm bored wandering the house," Karin said. "Sure, a fresh mind might find what we missed since we clones share the same thinking," the clone replied. "Come, I'll show you the techniques we're working on." The clone led her outside to the training grounds and formed 4 shadow clones, instructing them to perform futon. Rasen Shuriken. 2 clones launched the jutsu, which dissipated midair. The other 2 thrust it into a tree, causing a massive wind dome that left a crater. "You see our problem. The jutsu is powerful but can't be thrown, so the boss hurts himself using it." "Interesting. What about the other jutsu?" Karin asked. The clone nodded, creating 4 more shadow clones to perform Katen, Rasen Molotov fire style, spiraling Molotov. "Let's keep some distance," the clone said, leading Karin back. 2 clones tried to throw the fire attack, causing a small crater when it exploded. The other 2 thrust it into a tree, creating a dome of red and white flames that scorched the earth and left a large crater. "This one's even more powerful but still can't be thrown safely. We've mastered chakra control enough to do medical ninjutsu but can't solve this. We're out of ideas," the clone admitted. Karin tapped her chin, thinking, then had a revelation. "Have you considered using natural energy?" "We thought about it, but to harness natural energy, you must train at Mount Myaboku under sage training. If the boss signed the Toad's summoning contract, he'd have to abandon his fox contract, and the Toads, loyal to Konoha, would report his movements, the clone explained. Too bad. If only Naruto-kun had the Mokuton bloodline, he could use a variant of Sage Mode, Karin said. The clone's eyebrow twitched. What did you say? I said Naruto-kun having Mokuton would let him use a different Sage Mode. History says the first Hokage used Mokuton Sage Mode to help defeat Madara at the Valley of the End. The clone grabbed his hair in frustration. Why didn't we think of that? Startled, Karin asked. Wait, Naruto-kun has the Mokuton bloodline, doesn't he? Actually, yes. The boss has both Mokuton and Sharingan, the clone said. With a few hand signs, the clone slammed his palm into the ground, causing a tree to sprout right before Karin's astonished eyes. He activated his Sharingan, revealing Naruto's possession of two of Konoha's strongest bloodlines. How's that possible? Karin asked, curious. When the boss was younger, Kurama altered his DNA, merging the Senju and Uchiha genes. So technically, he's a quarter Senju, a quarter Uchiha, a quarter Namikaze, and Uzumaki. Kurama also told him that if he ever had children, they could inherit either the Sharingan or Mokuton, but not both, the clone explained. Anyway, we'll need to send a clone to infiltrate the Senju compound again and find the scroll that holds details about the Mokuton Sage Mode. We should get inside now and notify the other clones, the clone added. Karin nodded silently and entered the house. Oh, and Karin-chan, the clone called after her. Yes, she replied. Thanks, without you we might have never discovered this, and the boss would still be stuck with two useless jutsu, the clone said with a faint smile. Karin blushed at the compliment. The only thing that could have made it better was if Naruto had been the one to say it. Don't thank me, I was just trying to be helpful. I should head to bed now, it's getting late. Good night, Karin said as she made her way to her room. Good night, Karin-chan, the clone said as he went into the study and began issuing commands to the other clones. Next day. Day 3 of the Chunin exams, Sasuke woke with a pounding headache and no memory of what happened the day before. He tried to sit up, but the pain held him down. What happened? Sasuke muttered. Sasuke-kun, Sakura shouted as she hugged him tightly. Sakura, let go, Sasuke yelled though he was too weak to push her away. So you're finally awake. Took you long enough, Uchiha, Naruto teased. Sasuke glanced over and saw Naruto sharpening his katana with a stone. Shut up, Dobi. When you're actually more useful than me, then you can talk, Sasuke retorted. Naruto chuckled. Actually, Sasuke, I'm already more useful. You got a powerful new ability, but you let that pink-haired banshee stop you from trying it out. One little hug from that useless girl and you were out cold. What are you talking about? Sasuke asked angrily. During yesterday's fight with Orochimaru, he gave you a curse seal. It slowly drains your normal chakra and converts it into a much stronger form. It's not as strong as my Biju chakra, but still powerful. You must have been unconscious when it activated and changed your chakra. That's when the Odo Genin attacks Sakura, trying to kill you. Apparently, she attracts losers. Rock Lee tried helping but was defeated. When I arrived, she was about to be killed, so I saved you both to move on to the next round. After killing 2 of the Odo Genin, I went after the last one, but you were already fighting him, so I let you finish. Sakura had other ideas. She wanted to save her precious Uchiha from turning into a monster like me. If I'm a monster, then all the ninja villages are just huge monster dens. There are people far worse than me who have killed more. Anyway, she stopped you from finishing him off, so I took care of the last one while you were out, Naruto explained. Sasuke frowned at Naruto's words, realizing he might have feelings for Sakura, which didn't sit well with him. Sakura stood nearby, tears streaming down her face from the harsh insults Naruto threw at her. She thought he was a teammate who would never treat her that way. She was wrong. Let's get to the tower so we can move on with the exams, Naruto said, grabbing both teammates by the shoulders and disappearing in a yellow flash. They arrived at the tower and entered through the front door, where a riddle was inscribed on the wall. If you lack heaven, seek wisdom and prepare. If you lack earth, run through the fields and gain strength. If you open both heaven and earth scrolls, perilous paths become safe. I think we have to open both scrolls to get the answer. Uchiha, you take the heaven scroll, I'll take the earth one, Naruto said. Sasuke responded with a grunt and tossed Naruto the earth scroll while he took the heaven scroll. When they opened them, Naruto saw a teleportation formula and threw his scroll on the floor. Sasuke threw his on top. Smoke burst from the scrolls and cleared, revealing none other than Hadake Kakashi, their Jonin sensei. He didn't look pleased, especially as he looked at Naruto. Congratulations on passing. Sasuke and Sakura, go ahead. I need to speak with Naruto, Kakashi said sternly. Once they left, Kakashi turned to Naruto. What did you do? What do you mean, sensei? Naruto asked innocently. You know exactly what I mean. Yamanaka Ino is in a mental coma and her father is furious. Shikamaru told his sensei what you said, who then told Inoichi, and now he wants you dead. Kakashi yelled. Naruto laughed. That's hilarious. First, I don't care if the Yamanaka clan head wants me dead. He can come after me like all the villagers did before, and I'll do the same to him, kill him and deliver his body to his family. Second, I told the Nara that if he wants Ino back, I'll try to convince Kurama to spit her out, though he's hesitant. You better get her out, or the Hokage might not be able to stop the Yamanaka clan from killing you, Kakashi warned. Naruto laughed harder. You really think a weak clan like the Yamanaka can kill me? They specialize in invading mines. They're not a combat clan. Ino is in this state because she tried entering my mind and made a huge mistake. If another Yamanaka tries, they'll suffer the same fate. Kakashi could only glare, and eventually Naruto relented. Fine, I'll try one more time. Take me to where Ino is. Kakashi led Naruto upstairs to the room where Ino was. Naruto saw everyone inside. Ino lay on the bed, Team 10 on her left, Inoichi on her right, and the Hokage next to him with a serious expression. The tension was thick. Inoichi looked at Naruto with pure rage. You, Inoichi shouted, pointing. You better fix this or I'll kill you. I'd like to see you and your pathetic clan try, Naruto smirked. Inoichi stepped forward but was stopped by the Hokage. Naruto-kun, this is serious. Have you made any progress convincing your tenant to release the Yamanaka heiress? The Hokage asked seriously. I think I can, but I'll need him, Naruto pointed at Inoichi, to enter my mind to retrieve her, since she might be damaged from being inside my tenant. Inoichi scowled but nodded. Be careful inside my mind. If you try anything, I won't hesitate to let him consume you too, Naruto warned. Naruto sat in a meditative pose as Inoichi placed his hand on Naruto's forehead. Mindscape Inoichi found himself in a charred forest, continuing forward until he spotted the very same creature he battled 12 years ago, the Kyuubi no Kitsune. What's this? Another snack. Hopefully you're tastier than that little girl from before, Kurama said, licking his lips. Inoichi scowled, about to reply, when he noticed Naruto perched atop Kurama's head. Not a chance. This guy's here to retrieve the girl, so be a good fox and let her go, Naruto said firmly. What if I don't want to? Maybe I've already swallowed her, ever think of that? Kurama grinned. You damn fox, give me back my daughter, Inoichi shouted. Bad move, Inoichi-san, Naruto warned. You think a mere mortal can command me, the Kyuubi no Kitsune? I should devour you right here and join your daughter, Kurama bellowed. Don't eat him. I already have enough trouble with the civilian council, I don't need more. Just spit out the girl, Kurama, Naruto said, sounding bored. Tisk, fine, she wasn't very satisfying anyway. Kurama then expelled Ino, who Inoichi caught, and he quickly left Naruto's mind. Well, time to enjoy the show, Naruto smirked before exiting his mindscape. Outside, Mindscape Inoichi woke and rushed toward Ino's body, restoring her consciousness. Everyone was silent as Inoichi worked frantically to revive her. Ahhhh, Ino screamed awake. Princess, are you okay? Inoichi asked anxiously. Daddy, Ino whispered. It's me, Princess, Inoichi soothed. Daddy, Ino cried, throwing herself into his arms. It was awful, and Naruto, he's a monster. Ino sobbed. Tell me something I don't know, Naruto said. Ino noticed Naruto standing in the room and screamed, Ahhhh, get away from me, you monster. Naruto just laughed as Kakashi dragged him out, while Ino continued crying. Outside, Kakashi slammed Naruto against the wall. Slam, ow, what the hell was that for? What's wrong with you? You just laughed while Ino had a mental breakdown because of you, Kakashi yelled. Naruto chuckled, not my problem. Besides, she caused it herself by invading my mind. You've changed, Naruto. You're not the caring, enthusiastic kid you were 6 years ago, Kakashi said. Naruto smirked, exactly. That Naruto died 6 years ago. A new Naruto was born the same day. One who accepted his role as the demon the villagers forced him to be. A Naruto with the strength to protect himself and the few he cares about from those idiot villagers and the council. I guess I should blame myself. I should have fought harder to adopt you and give you a family, so you wouldn't turn out like this, Kakashi sighed. Don't worry about it. I know you were my father's favorite student, and that the council denied your adoption requests. That only fueled my hatred for the villagers and the council. If anyone's to blame, it's them. Naruto walked off toward his team. Kakashi shook his head and returned to Ino's room. How is she? Kakashi asked. Inoichi answered. Whatever she experienced, it severely damaged her mind. I sedated her already. She'll need to be off active duty while I assess the damage. Kakashi sighed. I'm sorry my student caused this, Inoichi-sama. I will do my best to pull him back from this dark path. Inoichi nodded and lifted Ino. I'm taking her to the hospital, she can't compete in the preliminaries. Inoichi vanished in a puff of smoke, leaving the Hokage, Team 10 and Kakashi behind. Hokage-sama, what will you do about Naruto? Kakashi asked. There's nothing I can do. Ino Yamanaka made the mistake of entering Naruto's mind. I'd like to believe Naruto couldn't stop his tenant from attacking her, the aged leader replied. That's nonsense. Naruto probably had the Kyuubi devour Ino while she was inside his mind. Shikamaru yelled. Everyone gasped. How did you figure that out, Shikamaru? Asuma asked. Shikamaru explained. When he told me he was a Jinchuriki, I realized the only Biju that attacked Konoha 12 years ago was the Kyuubi. Naruto was born then, and he said he's the Yandame's son. It wasn't hard to piece together. Sarutobi looked serious. Shikamaru-kun, you and Choji-kun must keep this secret about Naruto. It's S-rank classified, punishable by death if leaked. Shikamaru and Choji looked shocked. But why? People need to know what Naruto is, Shikamaru protested. Kakashi explained, it's not Naruto's fault. He's been alone all his life, hated by the entire village. He endured hateful glares and beatings as a child. He was sweet and fun-loving until he was 6, when villagers nearly killed him. That's when the Kyuubi made a deal with him and began training him. Since then, Naruto's killed anyone who hurt him and became cold and distant. He looked at Sarutobi. When he was a baby, I kept requesting to adopt him, but the council and Hokage refused. Once Naruto was on my team, it was too late to save him. This is how he turned out. Cold, uncaring, finding joy in bloodshed and misery. Sarutobi looked ashamed. It was his fault Naruto ended up like this. Wow, I didn't know he suffered so much, Shikamaru said sadly. Anyway, now that this is over, let's get some rest. The preliminaries start in 2 days, Asuma said. Everyone nodded and left for their rooms. 2 days later, during his 2 days stuck in the tower, Naruto was slowly losing his mind and wanted to kill someone. Sometimes he wished he'd left those Oto genin alive so he could have killed them in the preliminaries. Oh well, no use dwelling on the past. Suddenly, a Chunin entered his room with a message. Genin Uzumaki, report to the arena for the preliminaries. Finally, Naruto said, grabbing his gear and heading out. At the arena, all contestants stood in the center. The Hokage was up on the rafters with Jonin beside him. Once everyone settled, the Hokage began speaking about the exams and their purpose to foster good relations between villages. Naruto tuned out the old man and focused on Gaara. For the past 2 days, Naruto had tried talking to him, but all Gaara did was threaten and walk away. It was annoying. Naruto hoped to teach Gaara a lesson. His attention shifted to a pale man with a sword preparing to speak. My name is Gecko Hayate, proctor for the preliminaries. This round will be a tournament style with 9 winners advancing to the finals. If you think you're going to lose, forfeit. Killing is allowed, but I will intervene when a match ends. You must stop when I command. The first 2 names stay here. The rest head upstairs and wait for your names to be called. The screen started randomly selecting names as Hayate announced. The contestants for the first round are